I am Pallas Athene, and I know the thoughts of all men's hearts, and discern their manhood or their baseness. And from the souls of clay I turn away, and they are blessed, but not by me. They fatten at ease, like sheep in the pasture, and eat what they did not sow, like oxen in the stall. They grow and spread, like the gourd along the ground, but, like the gourd, they give no shade to the traveler, and when they are ripe death gathers them, and they go down unloved into hell, and their name vanishes out of the land. But to the souls of fire I give more fire, and to those who are manful I give a might more than man's. These are the heroes, the sons of the immortals, who are blessed, but not like the souls of clay. For I drive them forth by strange paths, Perseus, that they may fight the titans and the monsters, the enemies of gods and men. Through doubt and need, danger and battle, I drive them, and some of them are slain in the flower of youth, no man knows when or where, and some of them win noble names, and a fair and green old age. But what will be their latter end I know not, and none, save Zeus, the father of gods and men. Tell me now, Perseus, which of these two sorts of men seem to you more blessed?
Grade dropout rate as a Stride member on to college, and as two pathfinders, Patrick Madrigal and George Hoyte, have put into place, start a Stride Bureau anywhere in the world at any college or university. So it's no longer you get out of high school and you say, boy, I'm glad that's done, because nothing is ever done in our lives.
Do you have the whale? I see somebody rubbing their eyes.
Did we get a nap this morning?
If you have that wine, it's all gone. Go ask Grandma Son for some more wine. I'd like some red wine to pour on the carpet, Grandma Son.
No.
Who? Grandma, I love my
No.
Oh, really? Really?
Grade dropout rate as a Stride member on to college, and as two pathfinders, Patrick Madrigal and George Hoyte, have put into place, start a Stride Bureau anywhere in the world at any college or university. So it's no longer you get out of high school and you say, boy, I'm glad that's done, because nothing is ever done in our lives. It is part and parcel of what we are all about as individuals on this journey.
STRIVE stands for Starting Teenage Responsibility in Video Environment, or at least it used to. I first joined STRIVE when I was 16 years old. It began in 1991 and was founded by a man named N.C. Griffith. And it basically was an outreach to youth and young adult at-risk students like myself to give us linear to do to put together our own television show and communicate through broadcast. It's helped many people, myself included, and that's how I got into it. It closed down in 1995 due to lack of funding until myself and my partner Patrick Madrigal decided to bring it back and do our own show called What's Up College Edition, which means now that STRIVE now stands for Students Taking Responsibility in Video Evolution.
Okay, What's Up College Edition? That was an idea from my partner Dominic, and he came up with the idea to do a college version of What's Up. And he said, let's get a meeting with N.C. Griffith. And we sat with NC, and he said it's a good idea. But I came up with a twist to this plan. I said, well, why don't we just expand it? Why not just have a college show? Why don't we have a variety college show where we can go outside the college and do other stuff besides college segments, college ideas, and events? Let's go try going to concerts, going to stuff like Puyallup Fair, Tacoma Dome, Emerald Queen Casino, and go over there and see what we can get. And with a little bit of hard work and luck, we got celebrities like Willie Nelson, Edward James Olmos, we have Britney Spears, Taylor Dane, Vanilla Ice, Pauly Shore, and the list goes on, and it still keeps growing. It still keeps growing. You know, our recent guest right now, we have Charlie Daniels on the show, and we still have more coming in a couple months.
What's Up College Edition right now? How me and Patrick have designed it so far is when we first started off 5-minute episodes that came on once a week. And we decided, okay, we needed to go to the next level with that. Once it was 5 minutes, we had to figure out a way to get more time. Once we were offered more time from College Vision for 30 minutes, AT&T Broadband came on board and gave us 30 minutes. And we were coming on twice a week on 2 different channels. Now we come on 4 days a week actually, at different times.
The main goal for Strive is to give people who don't have a voice, especially college students. They love to voice their opinions all the time, and Strive What's Up College Edition is the perfect show to do that. And with the celebrities, a lot of people don't get to see that, see performances or see concerts, or don't even know that celebrities are in the area. And with What's Up College Edition, we bring it to the table, and we can show people what people miss.
We want to basically start bureaus, which is, keep a bureau here at TCC that's being paid, just like the Challenge is being paid to do their thing. And, when me and Pat continue, we go to other schools, we start another bureau, and we put the episodes together. You know what I'm saying? We want to pass the torch to those who's worthy of carrying the torch, to those who's willing to strive towards a better future.
Other than the Strive What's Up College Edition, we also love to do weddings. We love to go the distance with people who want to make their own little programs. We're happy to help. We just did a program for TCC for a student, for the students who want to come into the TCC there in high school. And with that, we did a little program so that students at TCC right now can encourage students that are in high school that haven't made a decision coming to college. Take a look at the tape and then decide whether they want to go to TCC or if they want to even enroll in college. And what we do is we got a little mini segment. We made a little mini tape of all these students talking about why they love TCC and why it's important to go to college and why it would be important for them as high school students to get into college.
Check this out. My community. Come to unity. A collective state is where you should be. Understanding all the differences of all people, no matter where they live. It's essential for us to prevail. Otherwise, the whole world will fail. Stop separating. Start communicating. Then you reach the point of relating to one another.
Hi, my name's Deanna Kaufman. I'm the producer and audio tech for What's Up. This week, we asked kids at Como how they feel about the environment. Let's go find out what they have to say.
Today we're going to talk about
garbage and waste in the community
and the environment and see how much we really know what we're doing to the environment. What are your concerns about the environment and stuff? The garbage and the litter and the waste. Well, this may sound kind of weird, but I'm kind of scared about the future because if we keep dumping all this garbage, there won't be any place for us to live.
People are always littering and stuff like that, and we need to keep this environment clean that we live in.
Well, it's causing like the depletion of the ozone layer and everything, and it's just, we're going to fry pretty soon because of the sun's atmosphere stuff. Take this all in science.
And what would you do to solve the garbage problem?
Probably continue the recycling, try and find a safer way to get rid of that stuff that can't be recycled, and try and find a way of disposing it cleanly.
I'd put a lot more recycling things around because basically you recycle through your home and a little bit through schools, but not anywhere else.
Getting everybody involved around us into recycling paper and plastic bags and things like that.
And do you have anything that you'd like to add? basically the world's important, and I want to keep it that way. Thank you very much for your interview. This is Serena signing out from Strive.
Yo, what's up? This is Free Johnson reporting from Strive, the camera person for What's Up. This week on the Spotlight feature, we're going to check out Midnight Basketball, downtown YMCA. Let's check it out. I want to see y'all down there.
Yo, this is Rampage coming live from the YMCA, supporting What's Up, This is the Midnight Basketball, and we're going to check it out. Yo, all the homies, the brothers and the sisters come out here and hang, Check that out. Check that shot. They got girlies playing hopscotch. Nice time, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, my name is Phil Carter, and I'm a senior director at the YMCA, and I'm the late night coordinator for all the late night programs at our association.
What are you trying to achieve down here? What is the purpose?
Well, one of the main things is we're trying to achieve a safe environment for kids to come, a place where they can come and hang out, and they can feel comfortable and safe to come down here and provide activities with some structure. We found that it was a need. This program has been operating over a year now, and as we opened our doors, we just found that it's definitely a need in the community. There just aren't things to do at night. And so what we're trying to do is give them some activities, some positive activities and things to do late at night.
Has it worked in your opinion?
I believe it has. Since we've opened up a couple of our new locations, one we have a late night program in Lakewood, and we also have one in Puyallup now. If we can serve 50 to 60 kids a night, I think it's being very effective.
Why don't you tell folks what you're doing down here and what's up with you?
I'm just hanging out here at the Y like I do every weekend, lifting weights, playing basketball, and keep my two friends out of trouble. What I'm doing here is I'm doing what I've been doing for about 3 years now, and that's working with young people, providing them with positive opportunity and positive recreation to keep them basically in tune with who they are before the negative elements in the community do that.
Why don't you tell me why you come down here?
Why? Because I like playing basketball and I enjoy the people.
Okay, well, that's it for this week on What's Up. Hope you enjoyed the show. And tune in next week when Ask the Kid finds out what's really going on in the young kid's mind.
Hey, kids, if you have any talents, concerns, or ideas, want to be on TV? Just give us a call at What's Up, 572-7709. Once again, that number is 572-7709. See ya.
Coming to your live and in living color. Forget about all the others. Intelligence displays my manhood. And you wished you could. You keep rapping yakety yak, yo. You're misunderstood by the youth of America. You see, they're in hysteria. They need guidance, and so do you.
This is Tasha, and welcome to What's Up College Edition.
Hey, what's up? This is Dominic Fortune coming to you live at TCC on the new show, Strive. What's Up College Edition. That's right, baby. We're in college, and I'm going to take you to my man Elijah Graham, where he's going to talk to the students on how they feel about the tuition hike. You know what I'm saying? So let's go check him out.
Hi, this is Elijah Graham reporting to you from What's Up College Edition. With me, I have Jennifer Hazen, student body president, and we're going to be talking about the raises in tuition around the campus at TCC. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. How will the tuition raises affect you personally?
Well, for the past 2 years, I've been a scholarship recipient, and with tuition increases within the next years, when I do plan to go to a university, it does really affect me because I'm having to go to college full time and have to support my own self, and so it is very difficult for myself to be able to afford any kind of tuition increase.
Will you be able to keep going on with your education as you want to?
I will go on with my education, whether that be scholarships or loans. I'm going to have to try to apply for more if the tuition does increase.
You know the financial aid doesn't raise with the amount of money in your tuition. That you're just going to have to deal with it or something like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't have extra money to cover extra expenses, so if financial aid does not increase along with the tuition hikes, I'll have to quit.
You pay for your own tuition?
Yeah, I do.
So you're going to have to, what is going on with your job? What do you think you're going to have to do? Take some cutbacks and maybe some of your relaxation time or something you like to do or what?
I'll probably take less classes because there's no way I can get more money to take more classes to pay for them. That's impossible for me.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel that that's going to affect people around here?
I believe it's going to affect community in a way that prevents students who want to go to college to get a higher education and to make them more be able to get a job that will be suitable, which is a living wage job. It'd be difficult for them to attend college because if the tuition goes up and the financial aid doesn't increase, then a lot of students who are in school now will not be able to finish up their college degree.
Back in the days, her brother Doug John Doe lounged with his man by the name of Slow Mo. Cool at the crib, they shot up some heroin, passed around the needle unaware stage that they were in. Cause they were friends, they'd always trade. But little did Joe know Slow had gotten AIDS and passed it to him. Slow Mo couldn't know anything was wrong. Now there goes John to his girl's house. Unarmed, no latex, him and his lady practice unsafe sex. The moral age you don't want him. If you wanna love her, you gotta be the user of a condom.
Is this gonna affect you, Lucky?
Pretty much, I think that since I pay for that much amount of money, like is it 600 something for a full-time credit student, I feel like the state should get involved with this to help pay part of the tuitions, because I mean, since the student couldn't get any support from the parents or any other institution, so I think the state have to get involved and pay part of the tuition.
How's it going to affect you?
Well, it won't just affect me. It'll affect all the women who are on DSHs, like myself, who's trying to better ourselves.
Yeah.
Financially, I'm not supported through financial aid anymore because my financial aid ran out, so now I'm on a scholarship. So it would affect a lot of women.
Well, I just want to say that we voted Gary Locke again to be in office, so, do your job right and, be nice on the students.
Thank you, Dr. Cramsue. I'm very pleased to welcome you to Tacoma Community College, Governor Locke. I was just quizzing some of our staff members who've been here a very long time, and we believe that this may be the first time a governor has visited TCC, so we're really honored to have you here today, and we're honored to have many members of our Tacoma Pierce County legislative delegation here. We definitely appreciate all the efforts that you, Governor, and our legislators have made to call attention to our aging campus. More than 72% of our 32 buildings were constructed between 1964 and 1970. And Governor, I'm sure that you noticed as you walked in and noticed our palatial buildings, and even though they're so palatial, they've still exceeded their 30-year useful life. We may be one of the few. We think we're kind of unique in terms of community colleges, that our buildings were constructed in such a short time frame that so many of our buildings are reaching their useful life all in the same time period. In July of 2001, a statewide facilities condition survey was conducted by independent consultants, and that reported that more than 60% of our buildings were in need of major renovation or repair, or replacement. There are many other two-year institutions that are having the exact same conditions. So these facts really underscore the importance of capital projects that were approved by you and by the legislature last year. In a few minutes, we're going to take everyone wants to go on a short tour, but let me tell you briefly about 4 projects that we have going. If you take a look at this picture here, this is a picture of our 10-year master plan for campus construction. We received pre-design and design funds for a new technology building, which combines efforts of several technology-dependent Do you have the whale? I see somebody rubbing their eyes.
Didn't they get a nap this morning?
Yeah, that wine is all gone. Go ask Grandma Son for some more wine. I'd like some red wine to pour on the carpet, Grandma Son. No. Okay, I'm City Hall. Who? Grandma. No. Oh, really? Really?
Grade dropout rate as a Stride member on to college, and as two pathfinders, Patrick Madrigal and George Hoyte, have put into place, start a Strive Bureau anywhere in the world at any college or university. So it's no longer, you get out of high school and you say, boy, I'm glad that's done, because nothing is ever done in our lives.
Do you have the whale? I see somebody rubbing their eyes.
Didn't they get a nap this morning?
Yeah, that wine is all gone. Go ask Grandma Son for some more wine. I'd like some red wine to pour on the carpet, Grandma Son. No. Okay, I'm City Hall. Who? Grandma. No. Oh, really? Really?
Well, tonight we've made an attempt to call probably over 1,000 new TCC students as a part of the Student Services Retention Task Force. We recruited probably 20 to 25 student volunteers who are interested in calling their fellow TCC students just to see how it's going fall quarter. We wanted to make contact with them before their first advising day, see if they'd gotten information about advising day, see if they had any questions, whether they understood the registration process for winter quarter classes, see if they had figured out how to find the tutoring center, the writing center, just in general, see how they were feeling about TCC and how things had shaped up for fall quarter. We want to thank all of the volunteers who are here tonight. We've had a fun time, had several donations from Round Table Pizza, from our foundation on campus with sodas and cookies, candy, pizza, things just to make the evening more fun. Had a lot of clubs and organizations in the Student Activities Office who turned out to do the calling. So we want to thank them for all their hard work and the effort to contact the students. If you have any questions about Tacoma Community College or about the registration process, just encourage you to give our office a call at Student Programs and Activities. The number is 566-5118.
What's up? This is Dominic Hoyte from What's Up College Edition here live at TCC on the season finale, 30 minutes, baby. That's right, the season finale. And we have the exclusive interview with the student body government coming at you. So peep it and keep rising for the best. Late.
From What's Up College Edition. Today we're going to be interviewing Drew Coleman, Vice President of Finance at Tacoma Community College. And for your time, I'd like to start off I'd like to start off by saying, can you describe to me a few of your duties of your position and how you best represent the students of TCC?
There are two major parts to my position. There's the tech fee budget and the S&A fees. The first one with the tech fee is split up into two parts. There's a fall allocation and a spring allocation. And what the tech fee is it's $1.50 of each credit, up to 10 credits, taxed on to, it's a self-imposed student tax, taxed on to our tuition, and the money is set into a fund. There's a committee that I set up, and as the committee meets, we choose where the money is allocated, and that happens in the fall and the spring. And then there's the S&A fee, which is similar to the tech fee, but it's not based on per credit. It's just a flat fee that students pay, and then that, again, is allocated to students' needs around the campus, and what they need through a committee.
Describe your duties of your positions and how do you best represent TCC students?
Okay, a few of my job duties. I have the opportunity to sanction all of the clubs here on campus, all the clubs in the organization, along with all of the other student officers, the vice president, the secretary, and the other vice president of legislation. And also, I am in charge of appointing student representatives to attend the different tenure committees on campus and also the various college committees on campus. I also am able to enforce the bylaws and the Constitution, and it is my opportunity to participate in each of the Senate meetings. And I think that I best fulfill my job to assist students as acting as a liaison between the students and the administration, and making sure that the students' needs are heard, and that if they have concerns, that we address those needs.
In your opinion, Joseph, could you tell us why it's important for the student to become active in student government?
Well, I think it's important for students to become involved is because the students are the ones who pay for it out of S&A, which is Student Activities Funds that we tax every student on. So you're paying for it. You want to be in control of your money. So if students get involved in either the Senate, student government, or student programs, they can help make decisions for the college and play important roles how to spend our money. And that way we get the best for our buck.
And what would you say is the best part of your job? And also what is the hardest?
The best part of my job definitely has to be the people. You know, you get to meet a lot of great people, and there's a very diverse cultural background here at TCC. I'd say probably the hardest part of my job is just the responsibility to know that people are looking up to you and they're watching you, and to know that what you do and how you present yourself is how people are going to see you. So it's tough to kind of know that you have a role and you need to live up to it.
What's the process that student government goes through to make a decision that affects students?
With my position, there's the tech fee and there's the S&A fee, and with that, usually a committee, and we try to get a consensus of what the students really need and what are the needs on campus. So usually through committees and the democratic process of how we go about things. So.
What is the best part of your job and what is the hardest part of your job?
There's so many great points about my job. I absolutely love people. I love interacting with people. So I think that's one of the biggest perks of my job. We do, however, have to deal with several different situations on campus. But I think the working with the people and being able to get to know people and networking and things like that completely overrides anything negative that happens.
Could you tell us how student government actually makes its decisions, and what are the procedures for things getting implemented and decisions made?
Well, we get suggestions from people, and then we look over the pros and cons, and by doing that, then we all come together, and then we make a decision.
Okay, thank you very much, Tasha. And this is Raymond Keaton reporting for What's Up College Edition.
Governor Lott's sword through TCC.
December 14, 2001, Governor of Washington State, Gary Locke, and staff visited Tacoma Community College after removing the multi-million-dollar pause on the TCC building fund spurred by the September 11th tragedy.
The first thing Governor Locke observed is how narrow the hallway is and how crammed it must get when the students leave the classroom. Alex Borstein, seen here, explains the classroom's history. Mike Bodine, Dean of the Science Department, adds some comments as students, faculty, and members of the press fill the room to join the tour with the governor. As we enter the second room, we see Governor Locke looking over the budget proposal. Mike, seen here in detail, talks about the future plans for each of the classrooms. As Mike explains the wonderful plans, the governor listens and looks on. While Mike's explaining the plan, we slowly pan to sections of the classroom. As the tour through the classrooms wraps up, everyone seems happy and believes it's a success. After the tour, Governor Locke gives a brief press conference.
Silence the violence, increase the peace, don't fake the funk, whatever. It's not about that. It's about Quincy, Rhonda, and Kano. These are my homies, and they're also dead. So don't wrap this up in some cute ad slogan with some big sound effects. This is about us. We're killing each other.
Hi, this is Ray Heaton reporting you for What's Up College Edition. On November 6th, Tacoma's mayor race comes to a head between Harold G. Moss and Bill Barsama. Dominique and Patrick bring you live footage to help you, the student, the viewer, and the voter decide Tacoma's next mayor.
I've had a deep and abiding interest in civil rights. Civil rights was what brought me into the political arena. Somewhere along the line you learn that you've got to stop hollering in the wind and get on the other side of the bench and try to help make laws that change things for people.
What's up? This is Dominic Hoyte coming live from What's Up College Edition here at TCC Forum. I'm here with the candidate for Tacoma's mayor, former mayor and county member,
Harold G. Moss, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing just fine. It's good to be here. Thanks, Dominic.
Oh, no problem whatsoever. Now, we were wondering, what are some of your views on the rise in tuition going on in Tacoma? What are some of your views and your thoughts on that?
Oh, now that one hurts, because the limited ability for city or county elected officials to affect it. We're just kind of witnesses to it. I have to be absolutely straightforward with you, because in my lifetime, I don't recall much of anything that remained the same. And so rising tuitions, as with the rising cost of a loaf of bread, is almost inevitable. So I regret that cost go up, but then I am so pleased that you have the option to try to still get a very good education.
If there was one thing you could change or improve about the city of Tacoma as mayor, what would it be?
Oh, I'd start with a whole lot of things. All of the vacant buildings downtown that used to have thriving businesses would have thriving businesses again. I would love to see neighborhoods where properties have run down, that we had some program that not only trained people but put people to work in refurbishing them. That would be just wonderful. I'd love to see Tacoma go out and get the kind of industry that's clean, that has high-paying jobs, family wage jobs, all of those kinds of things. To me, there's nothing wrong with knowing that way off in the distance, that's where you're trying to get.
If you could describe the bone marrow of your campaign that you've been running and what you stand on inside, how would you describe it?
Well, it is the absolute commitment to working with people. I have seen almost the impossible take place when you bring folk together to resolve a problem. When you bring them together, when you are dedicated to listening to divergent views, when you are willing to step in and be the arbiter, when you then, with the full power and majesty of the mayor's office, convene a setting, people come, and it's how they are treated, how respectful you take their ideas, that is a real generator.
Well, it was a pleasure to hear you here and have you here on What's Up College Edition. Harold G. Moss, November 6th.
Now we have our third and final candidate, Will Baker.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Baker, and I'm the Libertarian candidate for Pierce County Auditor. Why am I running as a Libertarian? Fact, polls show that most Americans support the creation of a third major political party. Fact, I am one of those Americans. And fact, on November 7th, 2000, the Libertarian Party did legally gain major party status in the state of Washington when 3 of their 8 candidates for statewide office received more than 5% of the vote in the general election. So here in Washington State, we are in fact a 3 major party state. Why am I running for Pierce County Auditor? I believe the number one issue in the 2002 county elections ought to be the illegal and unethical election practices used by the person who runs Pierce County elections and current county council members who have attempted to protect these practices. In 1996, I began to hear stories about election manipulation in Tacoma and Pierce County. I did some research and became aware of the following facts. Number one, all City of Tacoma and all Pierce County elections are run by the Pierce County Auditor, a public office that all Pierce County citizens get to vote on. 2, 3 of the last 5 auditors who have been, quote, elected, unquote, including current auditor Kathy Pearsall-Stipek, have ended up on the losing end of court cases as a direct result of their actions on the job while in office. That's every other auditor for the last 59 years. Two of those 3 auditors went to jail. Personally, I don't see that as a track record that inspires a lot of confidence in the electoral process. Now, when I became aware of this, I wondered why I hadn't heard about this 59-year history of corruption from the media. So I did a little more research and became aware of a few more interesting facts. On Tuesday, January 23, 1996, a jury of 12 Pierce County citizens awarded former county auditor employee Sally Riccobono $741,000 because Pierce County Auditor Kathy Pearsall-Stipek had retaliated against Sally after she filed a racial discrimination complaint against Stipek. The Tribune and your moderator, Mr. Segal here, responded 2 days later with an editorial criticizing the jury. Now we go 8 months later, and on Friday, September 13th, 1996, Washington State Supreme Court Judge Charles Smith issued a restraining order against our current auditor for counting ballots early. Justice Smith ruled that Pierce County could suffer irreparable harm if this practice were not halted. The Tribune and your moderator, Mr. Segal here, responded 4 days later, I apologize, with an editorial ripping Justice Smith and the group that brought the complaint. So basically, we have a track record here of the Tribune going after anyone from a Pierce County jury to a state Supreme Court judge who has ever had the audacity to speak up against our current auditor's regime. And since the Tribune is the outlet for the Associated Press, whatever Mr. Segal decides to write is repeated throughout the rest of the state and the nation as gospel. And of course, now we have the Tribune getting involved with folks who are running TV cameras that are paid with taxpayer dollars. It's kind of an interesting situation. I became aware of this, and that was one of the reasons I ran for auditor. It gives me an opportunity to use the voters pamphlet, use public forums like this to bring this information out, because I find one of the best ways to deal with problems is to drag them out into the public spotlight. And I hope to use my campaign to draw attention and educate citizens throughout Pierce County about how elections are run in the hope that public pressure will force election reform. One part of the election process that I would like to draw public attention to is the practice of holding candidate forums. Legitimate candidate forums that follow formats that ensure equal time for candidates can be a very positive thing for the community. However, there are some people and some groups that try to rig candidate forums by using formats that do not ensure equal time for candidates, or that simply ignore the rules of their own forum. And unfortunately, this forum turns out to be one of those types of forums. We have a moderator who has already endorsed one of the county auditor candidates. You would think that in a well-run forum you would have a moderator who could at least pretend not to be biased. I have 2 editorials up here tonight on the podium where after Mr. Segal endorsed Pat McCarthy, he not once but twice came out with reminder endorsements stating that they would name the people they had endorsed and also names of candidates who were unopposed in the primary. In both cases, it turned out Mr. Segal was lying through his teeth. Mr. Washam was unopposed in the primary. His name was in there. Pat McCarthy was endorsed. Her name was in there. In both cases, my name was not in there. I would like to invite folks, since we are running out of time here, to check out my website, PierceCountyInsider.com, where we have considerably more information than I've been able to present to you in this format. And I thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you. And since I'm not running for office, I'm not going to ask for equal time. Okay, that concludes our presentation from the county auditor candidate.
What's up? This is D. Walker, president of the BSU, reporting live from TCC What's Up College Edition season finale. This month, we offer exclusive interview with Tacoma's mayor, Bill Barsma. Then we're going to jump down to Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium and check out Earth Day. And we offer exclusive footage of the Britney Spears concert. So come along, check it out with us as we do this show for you.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Blaine with What's Up College Edition with our mayor from Tacoma, Bill Barsma. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
And so, how has the election treated you? Pretty good? now that you're in office?
Well, the election treated me very well since I won the election rather handily. It's been a very hectic first few months. I serve on 21 boards and commissions. I chair many of them. So days last anywhere from 12 to 14 hours. In fact, yesterday I started at 7:30. That was my first board meeting. And I finished off, got home around 9 o'clock at night. So it was a long day yesterday, and today I've had several meetings as well. But I knew what I was getting into, so never a dull moment.
So those expectations have kind of changed quite a bit, or have they met all of your expectations, or?
Well, the expectations haven't changed. Now, keep in mind that I served on the city council for 8 years prior to becoming mayor, so I had some sense of what it entailed, but I didn't gain a full appreciation until after my election, actually even before my election. There were a lot of requests for time and commitments during the period of the election in November till I was sworn in January. So I always had the question in my mind, why was it that the mayor was so tired in the evening, you know? And now I understand. And when Brian Ebersol was mayor and I served with him, around 9 o'clock he would say, gee, I'm tired, I got to go home. And I thought, well, gosh, Mr. Mayor, I'm not tired, you know. And at the time I was teaching at the University of Puget Sound, but now I appreciate what he was saying at that time.
Great. So now with your new official position held, I know that you have many expectations that you have. You've implicated a student advisory board also?
Yeah, during the course of the campaign, I made a promise. I made a promise to the young people of Tacoma, those between the ages of high school age to the early 20s, that upon being elected, I would establish a mayor's youth advisory board or committee, which I've done. And the board has met. It includes, at least initially, many of the student body officers of the area colleges, community colleges, and Bates. We're also inviting high school students to be involved in this committee. And they've got projects, they've got their bylaws and their constitution, they've elected their officers. And to be a member of the board, a student or a young person has to go back to their constituency and get on a petition 50 names. And so the representatives from Tacoma Community College, University of Puget Sound, University of Washington, Tacoma, Evergreen, Bates, and the high schools, to be members of the board and to be active participants, need the support from their peers. And they decided that on their own. That was not my choice, but they felt that to really be an active member and a participant on the board, they needed the support, need to have some credibility, and that was the way in which they established it.
Right. That sounds very necessary in becoming a member, activity in this community. Do you have any advice to maybe potential students that would like to run for political office in a career later?
Students, potential students and otherwise, in fact, current students. Well, there have been a lot of success stories of young people forward and have been successful politically here in Tacoma. In fact, some years back, there was a 19-year-old student from Pacific Lutheran University by the name of Tim Strege who ran for the Tacoma City Council against the then deputy mayor, lost by 100 votes, and then 2 years later, at the age of 21, was elected in a landslide and served on the city council. And then his good friend, another young person from the South End, Steve Kirby, while in his early 20s, was elected to the city council. So Tacomans have been pretty receptive to considering young people as candidates. But, it's a lot of hard work and commitment. You have to develop a plan and stick to it, and have a vision and a message that people will respond to. So, although there are no one currently on the council that you'd consider to be a young person, I think that in the past, Tacoma has been very receptive to that message.
So, speaking of visions, what exactly was your vision to run for mayor? What would you like to accomplish by having this position?
Good point. There are actually kind of two messages that I tried to convey. First was my leadership style and my approach to leading. And I said during the course of the campaign, and I really meant this, that in my view, there's no such thing as insiders and outsiders. That everybody in Tacoma, from my perspective, is an insider. All I ask is a commitment to a better Tacoma. And if a person's committed to working for the betterment of the community, then that person's an insider. I don't care where they live. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they make. I don't care what their education is. Everybody in Tacoma, from my perspective, is an insider. Now, that kind of shook things up a bit here in City Hall and kind of changed things a bit because, in my view, there was a lot of inside baseball, I guess you could say, a lot of inside stuff going on here. And I think part of the message and part of my success and Councilmember Mike Lonergan's success was based on the message that we conveyed. And we conveyed pretty much the same message that I've just said to you, that there won't be any insiders and outsiders. And so, I think that is an important aspect, and that deals with leadership style. Now, in terms of vision, what I hope for the future, I was an educator for 33 years. Taught at the University of Puget Sound. I'm a product of the Tacoma school system. I graduated from Stadium, went on to the University of Puget Sound, went on to George Washington University back in D.C., did my graduate work, came back, and began a career at the university. So I'm an educator by training and experience, and I'm committed to education. To me, education is the key to everything. It's the key to economic development. It's the key to assuring public safety, safe and secure neighborhoods. It's a key to quality of life. Now, as it turns out, the City of Tacoma has made a tremendous investment in telecommunications, unparalleled, unmatched. No other community is anywhere near what this city's accomplished in terms of broadband capacity and capability. And so the vision that I articulated during the course of the campaign is I think Tacoma has the potential to become a preeminent learning community. Every household in Tacoma has access to the Internet. You have access to the Internet. You don't even need a computer to have access to the Internet. For $9 a month, you can have access over your television. You can have your own email account. And you can use that resource, that information resource, to become more effective in terms of your potential as a productive citizen. So there are a lot of things going on, exciting things going on. The University of Washington Tacoma has a technology institute that is up and running with about 40 students involved. You have the Boys and Girls Club doing exciting things with technology out at the east side, their east side facility. You have the school district number 10 doing interesting things with the city of Tacoma through what is called the institutional network or the CityNet. So you have a lot of pieces out there, and my theory is if we can bring the pieces together and kind of work together in terms of this notion of a learning community, exciting things can happen in Tacoma. So I'm working with Councilmember Bill Moss and Councilmember Connie Ladenburg and Councilmember Rick Talbert to put together an effort and a strategic plan to bring about, tap into this potential that I've just.
I'm wondering about this institution of learning. How do you feel about the hikes of tuitions that are facing our colleges?
Well, that's a good question. I have very little to do with that. Obviously, I think access is critical. I've never had to deal with, now I'm talking as a parent, never had to deal with having to address the question of tuition because my two kids, both of whom are college graduates, were provided for tuition-wise through the University of Puget Sound, where I worked. My son now is at Northwestern University in Chicago in law school, where he's on a big scholarship. But once he graduates from law school, he'll be able to, but he still needs student loans, but he'll be able to pay them back. I'm always concerned when I see dramatic increases in tuition, because when that occurs, then barriers go up, and it creates problems for people in terms of access to educational opportunities. So that is a concern of mine.
I agree also. Well, we thank you for giving us time today and taking time out of your busy schedule. And I appreciate what time you have, and I know that you have a very long day ahead of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Silence the violence, increase the peace, don't fake the funk, whatever. It's not about that. It's about Quincy, Rhonda, and Kano. These are my homies, and they're also dead. So don't wrap this up in some cute ad slogan with some big sound effects. This is about us. We're killing each other.
This is Stephanie Raven reporting with What's Up College Edition, and we're going to be interviewing our student body president, Buddy Keller. And our first question for you is, describe the duties of your position held and how you best serve the TCC students.
Well, I act as a liaison from the administration, staff, and faculty to the students. I also serve on the board of trustees for the college and the foundation. So if they have any questions, I basically represent the students there to the president of the college and vice presidents of the college, and I just tell them any things the students have interest in or complaints about. And I basically act as a liaison. If they have any questions, come in our office. We're always open.
I think students should get involved in student government.
Students should get involved in student government because they get to know what's going on around campus. They get to know financial stuff about like Tech Fee and Student Activity C, and I think it's important for them to get involved in their money and everything.
Describe the duties of your position and how best you serve the TCC students.
Well, the duties of my position are pretty simple. As VP of Finance, I'm in charge of two main committees. We got the Tech Fee Committee and the Service and Activities Fee Budget Committee. So the Tech Fee Committee, it's a self-imposed student tax that goes up for vote every 3 years. And what it is $1.50 per credit that each student pays. It goes into a fund. And then me being the chair of the committee, I gather students who want to get involved, and we decide where the money should be allocated. And typically it buys stuff like new computers, but it's not limited to just computers. It could be anything that has to do with technology, and that's what the committee decides. So, and then the Service and Activities Fee Committee, that's another tax that students pay, and that one gets allocated around campus for things like clubs, the child care center, and athletics and things like that. So that's another committee that I'm in charge of. So,
could you tell me why should students get involved with student government?
Well, for one, it looks really good on resumes and college applications. Not to mention, people usually complain about where their money's going or problems, and unless you're going to do something about it, then I don't think you have like a right to complain. And I think the SDC Senate is a really good way to get involved and get your foot in the door and make a difference.
Okay, and our third question for you is, why should students get involved with student government?
Well, students should get involved in student government because it's a great way to meet people and it's a great way to help your community and your school. My thing is, you get involved, you never know who you're going to meet, who's going to be your next boss, who can help you out get a job later in life. I mean, it's just a great opportunity to learn about government, be politically active. Just a great way to get involved and meet people.
So, what are the hardest parts of your job, and what are the best parts?
The best parts are probably just, I love being in the leadership. I love knowing how my school actually works, where my money's going. Some of the hardest parts, as far as my job, the months when I'm not, or the weeks when I'm not doing the committees, the budget committees, it's real easy, not much work. But then the 3 times I do budget committee, one in fall, winter, and spring, it's real crunched. There's a lot of work, like for those couple weeks around each budget committee.
What problems facing students today do you feel most passionate about?
I think it would be everything that affects students. I mean, students come to us on a daily basis with different problems, from parking to how their funds are being spent to even small things, differences between teachers. And I think anything that, affects students is why we're here, to make a difference.
That sounds great, Brian. Could you tell me how can students get involved in student government?
Like I said, they attend 3 Senate meetings and take a parliamentary procedure workshop, and that way they become a senator. And I think the best way, there's also committees that they can join, so the best way is to come into our office in Building 11 and talk to us, and we'll talk to them.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. This is Carmetris Patterson reporting live with What's Up College Edition.
My community. Come to unity, a collective.
Hi, my name is Koshawn Armstrong, reporting for What's Up TV, and today we're here at Mary Frost Memorial Park, and I'm here with Senator Brad Owen, and we're going to be talking to Washington State Senator Brad Owen about young people in politics. So let's see what the senator has to say. Okay, first of all, Senator Owen, where'd you grow up at?
Well, I grew up right near here, as a matter of fact. I spent 4 years in the Salishan area of Tacoma and then several years over by Lincoln High School. I went to Galt, McElvey, and Stewart Junior Highs at one time or another, and or middle schools now, I guess, and then on to Lincoln High School.
What was it like when you were?
What was it like? Well, I'll tell you, compared to now, it was a lot different. There were not as many pressures on young people as there are today. Drugs and alcohol were something that you maybe you talked a little bit about. A lot of the things that you see today, gangs and gang violence and pressures on young people, the types of television programs were much, much milder than they are today.
Brad, what words do you have for young people today?
Well, you know, I always feel that the most important thing that young people can do today is to stand up for what they believe in, to be strong, to not be manipulated. I believe that young people can do that. If you be yourself, you stand up for what you believe in, and you will lead a good life and help us solve the rest of the problems that are facing America today.
This is Coach John Armstrong signing off for What's Up with Senator Washington State Senator Brad Owen.
Hate. You can't ignore it, and it's not somebody else's problem. Time for a solution.
The hate on the radio waves won't go away unless we all raise our voices up and replace it with hope.
I'm Dennis Franz. Healing the hate is a choice we must make. It's up to us.
I think we can heal the hate.
George. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm still learning. How are you?
Good. I woke up this morning.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me an audience in this.
Sure. What are we doing and who are we doing it to?
Well, we're starting. I guess the issue is with Vernon Hosanna, the civil writing class. I forwarded you his the email that I sent him trying to get into his class. I never got into the class. I don't know if you read that email yet, but I forwarded it to you yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Basically, I let him know that I am disabled, but I'm trying to get into the class. But what I need to know is where and when the class is. And that was just basically never answered, no matter how. I still don't know if there was a class. I don't know how that operated at all. I went to EOC and I tried to get them. I tried to explain my situation with them.
Yeah.
I tried to get in contact with, when I first went there for the class, it was saying to be announced on the day it was class. The only way I knew it was a class was because I was at the EOC office that day and they told me class was that day. But my record said to be announced and it never said anything different. So I never got in the class. So I never got to take the class at all. I read the books, the textbook that I did receive. I told him I read the textbook. He said he'd give me more time in the class, but that didn't answer whether there's a class or not. I found the assignments and things like that. And I found some videotapes and I was reading the syllabus and they said, well, you can ask questions after class. So I was going back with EOC and they were like, well, these are pre-recorded, some kind of different kind of thing than Zoom or whatever, but wasn't really sure of the matter whatsoever. I basically think, just to cut to the chase, that Vernon Hosanna is basically a cat's paw. And this is part of a larger situation that has been going on between me and TCC since 2001, since I first started there. I believe I'm being sabotaged. And I also sent you yesterday my grade, since it says passed below. That quarter I was taking two of your classes. And his class, supposedly.
The spring quarter.
Yeah, spring quarter. I never got in, so I never got an assignment or anything like that or whatever done. So now they're telling me basically, well, it's time to wrap it up and get out.
Oh, so that's what the financial aid services email was, because you dropped below full time or half time or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I mean, my issue, like I said, this isn't nothing new between me and TCC, and the reason basically that how all of this had started between the war between me and TCC that has gone on had to do basically with my show, What's Up College Edition, and the equipment and what was found on that tape. And
what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's on the grievance. I don't know if you probably didn't. Everybody I give it to don't know what I'm talking about once I give it to them. But it's on the grievance, all the videotapes and all the footage as far as that goes.
I don't think I've seen a grievance.
It's on the first. It's on the first letter I sent on the email.
I got two emails.
It's to Adam Myers, yourself, and EOC. There's a grievance thing, a zip file with the whole file of everything that went down.
Okay.
Now, I was hoping before we spoke, because if you haven't seen that, then this won't make any much sense, and I'd be going in circles and circles and circles.
Oh, I got it. I see it. Okay. I got it. So what are you looking for from me? Because I can't act as your attorney. I can't give you legal advice.
I feel you. I'm not looking for really advice per se, but like I said, it's hard for me to get into this without focusing on what's going on. But just to make a long story short, so that I told you, and this is being recorded, because this has been reported since 2001. It's been reported to the advisor of the club, Dan Small. It's been reported, and everybody's like, "Ooh, wow, what?" What's on the tape is Lori Jenkins basically at her party or whatever type of thing, giving alcohol to her baby.
She's state rep, Washington State representative.
Yes, but at the time she was the TCC board chair.
Okay.
So, like I said, I really don't know where to start if you haven't seen anything, but the whole file is on that grievance type of thing. So,
so what are you looking for? What's the payday for?
What
you?
I'm looking for, I'm looking for justice in this matter for my pain and suffering, to be quite frank.
Money.
Punitive.
Huh?
But I'm also,
money, right?
Punitive, yeah. I mean, money. I'm also looking for my name to be cleared.
And how's that work, though?
Well, how's that work? Basically, this started when they started accusing me of stealing tapes, stealing school property to buy drugs.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Any charges come of it or anything?
Well, that's the thing. During this time, a different situation when it was going forth, when it was supposed, this was a grievance against Patty Nelson at the time. And all the paperwork is on that file. It was given to EOC and it's given to Ad Myers too. And I know this is an election year. I see her on my ballot for the second. Needless to say, she doesn't have my vote. But somebody is going to answer for this. And yes, there was I was beaten up by the police. I was charged with a double felony for assaulting the police. I was labeled unfit to stand trial and sent to Western States and basically, in my opinion, tortured for 9 months. And when I was bid fit to stand trial, the charges were dropped with prejudice. And I've been living with this for 20 years. And this is the reason I've been going to school after school after school just to serve her, Lori Jenkins.
Well, I don't know what I can do for you because I can't act as an attorney for you, particularly if the school's involved. I got a double conflict of interest because I'm your teacher, but I'm also an employee of the school, so I got a profound conflict of interest there.
I feel you.
So I can't give you legal advice on it.
Well, you can listen, and you can also. Yeah. I mean, because like you said, this is basically like discovery. I'm not hiding anything. It's right. The file's right there. The file's been reported to EOC. The file was reported back then in 2001 and back again in 2006. So this is no secret. It's just that I'm being so played between. There's a history of these people stopping me from anything I have to do at TCC, and it's time for it to stop. So yeah, I'm looking for punitive damages, and yeah, I'm looking to clear my name, and yeah, I'm looking for justice. And I don't think that's a hard thing, being that basically everything's right on that disk.
It's a zip file, and it can't be scanned on my. It says the Google can't scan the file for viruses.
Okay, well, I also got thumb drives if you want me to send it snail mail.
Well,
How many copies you want?
I don't know that I need to see it, but I can refer you to somebody who may be able to help you. If you want to take up a civil rights claim, I can give you a referral.
Well, the thing is, with the civil rights thing, and that's why they always send someone like Mr. Quina or Hosanna type of thing, because it's to get around the civil rights thing, as if this is our problem, because they see we ourselves are chattel, and they could get around that with that. Who could I talk to who will actually sit down, listen, look at the file, and actually see this case? How I don't buy that this Lori Jenkins is so big to fail, that everybody, when it comes to looking at the obvious evidence on a case, everybody is a problem seeing it. They don't see it. They never saw it. What? That's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, does this thing Zoom play it? I could play it for you, actually, if this plays something on it. I've seen them do that before. I could play it for you.
How long is it?
22 minutes.
I don't have.
But I have the okay. Well, I have the whole. Well, actually, the actual part that's there. I have the whole party. But the actual part that was there is just the actual part that's disturbing is only a few minutes. Is there a way I can make you see this?
I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'll look at a couple of minutes of it.
Okay, yeah, you have to look at the first four.
But remember, I'm not going to advise you on this.
No advice asked. But I also want to let you know, yes, I am an author, and this is coming out in the book, The Screaming of the Rats.
Okay. I hope you give me a good mention.
I will.
All right, thanks.
Jot this George Rampage Amore Testimony.
Jot this number down. Beverly Grant. You know Bev Grant?
Beverly
Grant.
Now I have to ask you something. Is this lady African American?
Yeah, she's in my building, and she does.
Yeah, nah.
She does no.
Nah, that's that. Yeah, because every time I'm headed to one of those, it's just another cat paw, and I'm nothing against my people. I myself am black. You know, it's just an aspect of what I go through TCC. I'm always headed to somebody who basically just knows the situation, and that I'm gone for a time, and I'll have to come back again. No, this needs somebody who isn't chattel like me.
Okay, I'm not sending you to her because of anybody's skin color.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that's how it's been used in the past at TCC.
All right. I'm sending you to her because this is the kind of shit she does, and she's good at it, and she's well known.
Okay, well, what's her number? I'll try it.
She's worth a ring. I mean, talk to her. If you don't like the cut of her jib, we can find somebody else for you.
Okay.
252 5454.
5454. Is that 253 area code?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I guess it's going to be the same thing with Admire, whether he saw this or not. But like I said, I'm not done here. I'm not done here. And I've tried to email this man the first day 3 times. Then I remembered with Chris Kearney, it was like, okay, on the Outlook, my email didn't go through. I had to get in touch with Adam Meyer to get in touch with me and whatever. So then I tried the Gmail, and I finally got through, and I still wasn't told where the class is or if there was a class. Regardless of what, I still don't know. EOC doesn't know. I think that's ridiculous that I should. And another thing, the fact that I was led to believe that that starting this program, that unemployment would be able will accept this. Unemployment has not accepted this. I've been living off of the food bank and off eggs and mush for months now. And now I'm being kicked out of the school because my grade dropped below average because I was not let in the class. Now I'm going to have to start paying for whatever loans that come in, and I'm just gone like that. And that's the end of the problem. I don't buy that. Not with what's on that tape. That is not that. No, off school property that they were accusing me of stealing that they gave to my partner in the first place. Now, I know I can't jot all this type of things together as far as what happened with the police and what happened to this, but rest assured, What's Up College Edition and all the people who worked to cover for Lori Jenkins' indiscretion and all the people that were fired because of it, and I did get it the worst, but she was the only one apparently that did any kind of felony. And that tape shows it. And no amount of, from what I see in the class, I know it's a difficult thing as I've been studying to prove causation.
Yeah, but tell me, I don't see it. There's no money in it. Why would anybody do all that shit? There's no money. What did you ever do to her?
I didn't do anything to her.
There's no money in it. Time. She's a busy lady.
I was the president of this club that had this tape on it.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
It's on a zip file that I can't scan, and I never downloaded shit.
I feel you. I just want to know: is there any way I could show you this what I have right here? Is there?
I'm not back. I'll be back on campus in my office in a month or so. The end of next month. So.
Hold on, Zoom to Phil.
So listen, let me talk about maybe getting you some money for scholarships and grants. Have you looked at the TCC Foundation website?
No, I have it.
George, listen, George. I'm telling you, it's. You can run around and look at 15,000 different scholarships all day, and there's grants and scholarships and applications and all kinds of horseshit. But what TCC does that is wonderful is the TCC Foundation. You make one application, and they send copies to every scholarship grant that you're eligible for. And I'm talking about
this. If my grades, free money. Well, if my grades always remains above a C level, no matter what I do at TCC, if everything I try to accomplish, and the thing is, the reason I backed off the last time when I was with the lawyer who saw the tape and called child protection or seemed to, and said he was on hold or whatever. The only reason I didn't go after this then is because they wanted to go after Doc, and Doc is my man, and now he's the dean. But he's stepping down now, and that's and you know, look. Whatever going on at even if I get millions and millions of dollars from TCC, they're not gonna stop. They ain't gonna stop messing with me. They ain't gonna stop me from. They're not gonna allow me to have this education. I see how important this legal class is. I see what it could do for the community, and the only reason they're able to sit down and get away with things like that, I used to think it's like, man, these people are really smart. How they? It's because we don't even know what a right is. A right is whatever somebody that looks like an authority tells us it is, and we move like little chattel. I know I'm on a rant, but
why don't we try to get you some money? So I'd like to see you finish the program. I'd like to see you get your certificate. I'd like to see you get your ticket.
I am going to get my ticket one way or the other, and but like I said, Lori Jenkins going.
So there's money available for that. And it's one application. George, just look at the TCC Foundation website. You fill out one application and they send it to all the different things you're eligible for. It's one-stop shopping. I'm not telling you to go off on a goose chase where you're going to spend 5 days filling out applications and doing all that shit.
Okay, TCC application workshop, you said?
No, the TCC Foundation.
TCC Foundation.
Yeah. And you tell them you're in the paralegal pro. You fill out the application. It's pretty straightforward, and then they direct it to all the different funds. I know of 4 or 5 different funds that are available. Grants. I mean, free money, not alone. I'm talking about a grant. Well, just a TCC paralegal. Just a TCC paralegal program.
I'll let you know this. I'll definitely check that out. But I mean, as much as I was looking for money, that's not all I'm looking for, because I'm satisfied with just what I have here, just to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head and have some food. It's not just about the money with me. But as far as Lori Jenkins and Dan Small, the human relations, who was the advisor of our club, regardless of who ain't seeing this, she's up for election this year, or whatever type of whatever. This is being recorded. Lori Jenkins, it's a wrap. Rampage Hoyte is back at TCC. I have reported you to EOC. It's done. All right. So you might as well drop out of that race right now, because what's on that tape is a felony for real, and not the one that they did to me. Not the fake one where they just sit down, put you in a mental hospital to shut you up. You're done. Hi, Dan Small.
All right. I don't know about taking a run. I can't give you legal advice about taking a run at somebody because for the reasons I've already stated, I got that conflict.
I feel you.
But at least on getting you some financial aid so that you can get your ticket, the foundation's where it's at. And it's don't get discouraged. Don't think you know it before you look at it. Take a look at it. Take a look at it.
I will.
Do that?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. You're going to be back in the office.
When's the semester? Fall semester starts in. I don't have the new calendar.
I haven't heard, but I haven't heard from Adam Myers as far as the workforce yet, and he hasn't answered the email back either. So I really don't know how that's gonna fly or function. But you know, I like I said, I'll talk to anybody who will give me an audience on this subject, because I mean, you know, this is not something that's just going on in my head. This is documented. It's actually it's right in front of people's face. The whole tapes that they were requesting and crying about and causing all this commotion for, that Patty Nelson got fired for, that Shallow got fired for, that I went to jail just about connected to. It's all in there in that file. And whether, you know, I get the same answer however it's sent. And the night the cops came and did that to me, about 70,000 of that file's emails went out. They called me on the phone with all kind of questions and all that kind of stuff before whatever. So it's already documented even on an email way back in 2003 when this happened. And I learned from either your class or Miss Kearney's that the email is in fact a legal document. So you know, it's out there. You know, whoever sees it will see it. Whoever don't or whatever. But you know, I basically was put in a situation as a child TV, not a child TV, but a teenage TV or a young man TV dude or whatever, thrown in jail that literally had to fight to protect my ass, literally, and even the cops to protect my ass. I'm not just in it because I want bling bling and whatever. I'm poor. I live right across the street. I could walk across TCC anytime I want to. Vernon Hosanna, as far as I'm concerned, was a cat paw. The only thing I asked of him in that email is when and where's the class. I didn't ask for more time and all that. When it happened with Kearney and last thing, I took a look. This is a COVID-19 situation. I understand that type of thing. So I spent all week or whatever to try to do my best for a C-. I'll be happy to take all the classes over again as far as I'm concerned, because it's not about the grade for me. I'm not here to get a paralegal certificate to work for anybody. I'm here to get the legal mind so I could remove these people as my boss. That's why I'm here for the information. I could take the class 20 times and I'll be good.
Okay. I don't have any special magic shit for you.
I know. But thanks for the number, and I'll just like I said, you could let them know that hey.
Check out. All right, we just check out the foundation. That way you can get some fall classes paid for. And that frees up extra money for you.
And Beverly Grant?
Yeah, she's worth a call.
Okay.
Tell her I sent you. She knows me.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Landry. I'm sorry I'm dumping all this on you.
No worries, George. No worries.
I do enjoy your class, and I think what you're doing and what you're teaching would be, if I could bring everybody I know to your classroom to sit down there and listen and be liberated, I would do that.
Well, tell them to show up and sign up.
I'll make a rap about it.
All right.
Thanks for your time, sir.
I appreciate it. Thanks, George.
Yep.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
What's up? Dominic Hoyte here with Jimmy Leaf. Back from, how long ago has it been since you been at TCC?
Over 30 years.
30 years.
30 years, man. Can you imagine?
What did you do while you were here?
A number of things. One, I was president of the BSU, or OB Society, which is Swahili for Black, and also on the student government. So I'm pictured here as this is a member of our cabinet as student government, and here at one of the student government meetings, and as a representative from the OB Society. So we were about change, and so the campuses would be safe, and the environment would be so that everybody has a chance to learn and get a piece of the American dream.
What was the Black Student Union like back then?
Organized and realizing that we need to come together to be successful, that we can't do it by ourselves. Same thing now that we have now. It takes a village to raise a child, and right now we are helping single parents learn how to parent, reach some of their goals and have some goals of, once we realize without a plan, you plan to fail. And everything that the people said back then, and as they say now, sometimes it's old. It's old because it's true. And we need to apply it now in our lives, in our education, in our homes, so that we can pull America back together.
Right. If you would have some advice then for the new generation of TCC, what would it be?
Get involved. Identify your goals and work on trying to accomplish that goal. Realize we can't do it by ourselves. It does take a village. As they're learning in this academic arena that groups pulling together can help bring the whole group along. So make education back a high priority in your life so that we can grow and be successful in life.
They're going to take you to a higher height. They will be followed up by Serve Notice, who's supported by DJ Music Theory. He hails from Tacoma Community College and the Black Student Union there. He's got a message and he's got purpose.
I have a dream for an exile in his own land.
Yo, Black history should not be a mystery. 400 years, blood, sweat, tears, and misery. Literally, millions of lives lost in African Holocaust. Underground Railroad, catch the train of thought or step off. It's keeping it real, creeping with steel. And if seeking to kill your brother for skrill is another trap in the track to weaken the wheels, cheapen the deals, while the other man's leading the field. King said we should overcome the new millennium. The time's come to overrun Allah, Jehovah's sons, young black and older ones. All face police hate, lock gates and soldiers' guns. Time for system infiltration, so get your education. Approach each class with dedication. If you gotta be a bookworm, my brother, be that. Break them for their A sharps, let them keep their D flats. Let them know you're born to be a baller, and you'll be that scholar with dollars. Now you're rolling on the free track, knowing the struggles now, a struggle of the mind. Challenge every doubt, don't let fear draw the line. Register to vote or will always be neglected. Want the president elected or Supreme Court selected? Reject this method. I ain't leaving, she ain't leaving, he ain't leaving, we ain't leaving, so we might as well unite and fight for common reasons. For Rosa Parks and those remorse to free a wounded nation. For Dr. King and Malcolm X, ace every test you taking. For Harriet Tubman and that Turner, pay with sweat you breaking. The underground railroads in your mind, you reach your destination. Hell no, no justice. justice, no peace. Till the police brutality cease and freedom rings, dream come true. Till justice no longer means just you. We fighting all night till the light come, dream come true.
The life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation.
A nation, a people, a man in a dream. How many understand what it means? Seen as 2/3 of human beings, how they label me. For my mama cradled me, forced in chattel slavery. Wonder why they're hating me. Is it this melanin I'm dwelling in? Black intelligence to the skeleton. I'm that strange fruit with blood at the root that swung from the trees down south when the church got burnt out. Yo, I'm those bodies out of caskets, afloat in the middle passage, victim of circumstances, considered savage. Let you tell it, we damned by the curse of Ham, ain't white and perfect, somehow we deserve this. 400 years, Holocaust in your surface, built this whole country, now all people shirtless. Every promise made of reparations is worthless. When this race surface, you start to get nervous. Hell no, no justice, no peace, till the police brutality cease and freedom rings, dream come true. Till justice no longer means just you. We fighting all night till the light come, dream come true.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
The Rock.
DJ Music Theory and Serve Notice with Dream Come True. And that's the language of the day. We're talking about the dream and we're talking about change. City of Destiny, have you enjoyed this year's 21st annual Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration? It's been good, hasn't it?
Celebrate me when I go.
the house for the year 2008. The Theory. My man Doc Foscow, Music Theory in the building. We here chilling like Joe to be in the kept the feeling dope for real thing, you know. Call outside the lines, keep gang. Yo, I call it outside the lines, straight up portrait of humanity. Try to make sense of insanity. Panic, exasperated hatred amongst the races leads to construction or self-destruction. Picture holy scriptures, blind and swastikas. God gave religion, man made divisions. Stereotype superstition, selfish ambition to those who pose Christian. Isn't it sad for those who didn't have the melanin I'm dwelling in? Color me back. Them boys in blue, yeah, that poison crew say I'm barred from whites, wearing stars and stripes. Freedom of speech, yeah, right. Don't believe the hype. Don't say what they like, you might lose your life. Taken from Doc King, he stood for peace. Stood for justice, now lies deceased. Concrete streets cover blood of the Indian nation. Extermination on reservations. The pilgrims said, damn, we want this bread, man. Greedy tree, the red man's a dead man. Every other block there's a liquor or gunshot. The liquor stores here just chemical warfare. They gotta celebrate Thanksgiving banquets. The same said thanks with smallpox and blankets. Apartheid's done in South Africa, IC. Replaced by the Jermaine John B. 136 million men, women, and children unmarked graves. Was the life of a slave. Because of the color of skin, we kill again. Ain't no excuses for hatred and nuisance. Beating this demon is useless. Color outside the lines, you may find the time. From the black and the white, yellow and brown, with reds down, destinies intertwined. That's bottom line. Think and free your mind. Erase hate, color outside the line till your inner eyes colorblind. Erase hate, color outside the lines. Yo, theory, script. Yo. Face it, being racist is tasteless for all those who hate this. Break it down to basic. Listen very clearly though. Check out the scenario as I push your stereo. Holler if you hear me though. Stereotypes, false hype, what we don't like. So please listen if you fit the description. Not every black man's another Scottie Pippen. Or wants the gangbang deal or pimp women. Not all whites is filthy rich and prejudiced. No matter what they say, all whites ain't triple K. Some whites fought day and night for the civil rights plight. Some see men as equal, some blacks exploit people. Not every Jewish fanboy cash, and not every Arab packing bombs in book bags. Every Latino ain't illegal, so stop it. Not every Aborigine is an alcoholic. Blast your stereotype. It's a spiritual fight. Deliverance from centuries of ignorance. Time to quit walking through life with focus blurred. Welcome to reality. Partner, notice serves. Thank you, baby. Hey, support the downtown barbershop.
4, 3.
Okay, this is Stephanie Raven reporting for What's Up College Edition. And we're here with our president of BSU, Rashonda Bilton. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. I really like your neck piece. You have to get a shot of this. Just really look at that. It's really pretty. Okay, and we just have a couple questions for you today. And our first question is, what exactly is the Black Student Union and how does it benefit students here at TCC?
Well, the Black Student Union actually is a minority organization founded at Floyd University in 1969 to promote cultural awareness, political awareness, religion, different backgrounds, beliefs. And I felt that it helps the students here at Tacoma Community College for the fact that it helps them unite with one another, gain great friendship, a place they can call their own, a club that's theirs, and something that, you know, they can use as their voice if they don't know how to.
And what are some of the issues facing Black students today here at TCC?
I believe one issue is getting the students to be aware that there is still racism that's going on the community, having a voice, being able to be heard, whether it's sexual preference, whether it's religious preference. A lot of students here don't know how to come out and speak, don't know how to even introduce themselves to other students. So I would say having a place for them to just come to.
And also, how important is education for young African Americans, and why should they attend college?
Well, I think it's very important that African Americans today get a great education, because with the economy being so bad and so hard for minorities as it is to gain any kind of great paying job, employment, not having to be on the state of any assistance, I believe the more education, the better opportunity we have.
And what exactly is BSU? Like, does BSU face any problems being called BSU for the Black Student Union?
There's been issues where people have looked at BSU as just pro-black, they felt where no minorities could join. There's been issues where there's been Nazi signs and other foul words placed upon the BSU flyers and the boards. But just pretty much the stereotype that you get from students, not sure of what BSU is really all about.
And if someone was interested in joining BSU, how would you join?
Just being interested, come to the meeting, speak with some of the members when you come to the meeting. Of course, ask me when you see me on campus. I'm pretty outspoken. I pretty much tell everybody when the meetings are. Just being interested, wanting to be involved with us in the campus or the community.
And so one last question for all of the people who are interested in joining BSU, what can they look forward to in the future?
Getting involved in the community, uniting from the minority students here, helping out whether it's with different organizations or clubs on campus, getting involved whether it's government or community-wise community services, just trying to help out as much as possible and make it fun.
Well, thank you. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'd like to thank Rashonda for giving us some of her time. I know she's really busy being president, and that concludes everything. Thank you, and once again, this is Stephanie Rayburn reporting from What's Up College Edition.
After we record. Okay, George, so on this call today, you have me, Dr. Davi Kallman, and so I am talking to you today in my capacity as the ADA coordinator, since you had discussed a possible disability discrimination concern that you had.
Yes.
I also have a representative from the Access Center, and that representative is Miss Laquita Williams, and she is the Assistive Technology Coordinator at the Access Center. And so we will be, today's session will be essentially a listening session. We want to understand what your concerns are so that we can do some background information on our end, and we can talk to all necessary parties to get an idea of the bigger picture of how we can help you, okay?
Well, the first thing I'd ask in a listening session is, did you receive the emails forwarded?
I did, yes. I got those emails you forwarded me, and then over the weekend, I read most of them. We work with a lot of students, so I hadn't had a chance to delve into all of them as much as I would like to, but yes, I did receive them.
Okay, well then you have an idea of basically what's going on. Okay. Well, I guess the first part of it is I'm bringing a grievance against Vernon Hosanna, which is my was supposed to be my writing for paralegals class. I never got in the class. I tried emailing the first day of the class. I tried calling the school. When I finally got through and asked them directly, basically when and where, or what's the code to the class, I still wasn't given the class. So my grades supposedly fell below financial aid assistance. And I was basically being sent letters that was time to exit and pack up and go because of it. And my loans would have been sent right there. I spoke to Adam Myers, and he says that I got a C in the class, which is also ridiculous because I didn't take the class at all and didn't finish any assignments. I don't need grades just given to me when somebody gets caught up in their own trap.
Okay, so I'm going to go backwards just a little bit to get some more clarifying information. So you said that you got into the class, but you were never given the Zoom information or anything on how to access it.
I didn't get into the class at all, but I was registered, but no, I wasn't given the Zoom information. I believe this Vernon Hosanna was just playing the role as a cat's paw to basically get around my civil rights or my disabilities or whatever, to get rid of me quietly before any of this thing went down of what's happening now. That's what I believe.
Okay, and then so when you tried to get into the class, who did you email to ask for the Zoom information and the code?
Vernon Hosanna.
Okay, and did Vernon Hosanna email you back?
He emailed me back on the fourth time I tried under the Gmail account. Yes, I sent I don't know, that should be with the file too, that actual email. He emailed me back and said he'd give me more time, but that's not what was asking for. I wasn't sure if I needed more time. I needed to know if there was a class and if there's a class at all, so I would even know what to do, period. You feel me?
And so did you do any homework or anything for the class, or you didn't participate at all?
I didn't. The only thing I did was on my own time read the textbook I got for the class. I didn't participate at all, but I got a C out of it now. No assignments, nothing. I just got to see, shut up and move on.
And so at that time of the email, Vernon never gave you the Zoom information of how to get into the class.
No.
Did you respond back asking for additional information?
I didn't contact him again after that because, quite frankly, I've been going through this type of thing with TCC now for 20 years, since Lori Jenkins was found on our videos giving alcohol to a minor. I mean, it gets to a point where it's like I have stress of my own. I'm trying to deal with my situation as it is. It can't get more and more ridiculous that I can't just get the actual service I need, where I have to dot every I for everybody and T every T and go around and make sure this, that. The last time this happened, the last quarter this happened with Chris Kearney, I was like, okay, this is COVID. So maybe, I spent the last week trying to kill myself just to get a C- doing all the work. This is just a habit. This is just a habitual thing that keeps going on with TCC. And the reason is quite clear on the evidence that's already been released publicly. So, I mean, I reported it to EOC, and I was basically given the advice to just get in there and try to just do as many assignments as I can for the last 10 days. Even if I haven't been to a class or even known a class, just to get a grade.
George, I have a quick question. You keep mentioning EOC. What does the EOC stand for? Because I can't find
Education Opportunity Center. It's okay. So Samantha Romero Sabo was at least, she said she called here upset, pissed off at me for some fake outrage, and we ended up falling out. But she's the first one I reported it to that I have this history with TCC with, at least since I've been back at school since January.
Okay. So you've been working with Samantha Romero from the EOC. So it's okay. For some reason, yeah, how to enroll. It's called the Spruce Grant, so that's why I hadn't heard of it.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was EOC, but she's been so-called. She says she's been let go until further notice. I don't know if they did something to her for it, but she was very upset over the phone. Ended up hanging up on me. Said this ain't going to turn out the way I think it is, and or not going to end the way I think it is. And if that's the threat, there's nothing more that they could basically do that they weren't already going to do.
Okay. So you were working with Samantha Romero from the Spruce program. Okay, so
that's what you call it. I didn't know it to be the Spruce program. I just knew it to be the EOC. She was helping me. She was helping me get myself together as far as dealing with all the things new in the school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it to be a Spruce program.
So the EOC is it's the social service agency that screens participants and refers them to TCC. At TCC, it's called the Spruce program.
Okay, well, it's good to know that. I didn't know that.
And it stands for Space Available to Respond to the Unemployed Through College Education.
Okay.
Now we know. Okay, so and you told this to Samantha. So did you ever file a grade grievance or to petition a grade after you got that C for the class?
Yes, that's what I thought I was doing with Adam Myers since he was in charge of workforce.
Okay.
But the thing is, this is my third grievance. I filed one in 2003 against Patty Nelson. She was fired. I filed one against Dave Pelkey back in 2008. He ended up leaving. And this is another one against Vernon Hosanna.
Okay. So
they're all on that disc too, or that file. All three grievances should be on.
So the grievance is so what you're explaining here, the grievance that you've talked about with Lori Jenkins and stuff would be a little different than what I'm referring to. So this is a final course grade appeal process.
Okay, as far as that process go, I don't know every ins and outs to do that. That's why I sent a grievance letter to the dude that pays for my college that I'm aware of, Adam Myers of Workforce. I sent him that email with the grievance and why I was sending it with the situation. Now I'm sure there's basically, well, you didn't hop on your feet 3 times and spin and speak to the man under the magic mushroom there. I don't know the exact process, but my desire to file a grievance, it was written grievance right on there against Vernon Hosanna, was given to Adam Myers, and I was speaking, and I spoke to my civil law teacher about it or whatever, who offered to hear me out about it, Paul Landry. So if there's another process of filing them grievances, I mean, out of the 3 grievances I filed for the past 20 years, hasn't none of them done anything anyway, except get me in more and more trouble. But
I think it was probably what appears to me. It's there's different grievances at hand here. So what it sounds like to me is that, at least for the Vernon Hosanna situation, is that there was obviously a huge mix-up. You never got into the class. You got graded for the class that you weren't in, and that you need to appeal that final grade because you were never in the class. You never got the information. That's what it sounds like. Is that correct?
That is correct. But I don't think it was just a mix-up. That's as far. I know it wasn't a mix-up.
Okay, and so you feel that it was discrimination?
Definitely.
Okay, so
no doubt in my mind.
Regarding discrimination, do you feel it was a disability discrimination or a different type of a reason why you were being discriminated?
I think my disability and my race plays into the equation, because that could be exploited and to discredit my character of anything that has to be brought against the actual real reason. And the real reason for all the grievances, in my estimation, is the former board chair, Lori Jenkins. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe. As far as I don't think they care whether I'm disabled or whether I'm black or whatever like that or whatever. That's just a red herring when it comes to dealing with the situation. The fact of the matter is I've always had problems with TCC since Lori Jenkins' party. They accused me of stealing the VH. I was the president of the club at the time. They accused me of stealing the footage or stealing the tapes and equipment to buy drugs when it was Lori Jenkins caught on tape with my partner giving alcohol to an infant. Now, I know that has nothing to do with this, that, and what's going on today, but in a sense it does, because every motivation to keep me out of my student rights stems from what happened back then in my estimation. And I believe that what I put forth in that particular file, because there's more files, but in that particular file that I put forth is a healthy amount of information that could prove that beyond a reason, at least if not beyond a reasonable doubt, it has the preponderance of evidence. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe.
Well, I cannot speak to the Lori Jenkins case. I personally have never heard of Lori Jenkins or, the situation that you're telling me about. My role as the ADA coordinator is to make sure that your rights as an individual with disability are taken seriously. And so I do have a couple of follow-up questions. So you had mentioned that you're an individual with a disability. Have you ever registered with our Access Services offices for disability?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you register for accommodations?
2001, again in 2008, again, and again I reported it last quarter so 3 times.
Okay.
In my career.
So you applied for accommodations through our office?
Accommodations is the first time. I don't understand what you mean by accommodations first.
So here at TCC, we have what is referred to as Access Services. This is an office that provides academic accommodations for students with disabilities. A student has to apply for accommodations in order to get them.
What I have applied for was basically, look, I'll need more time because of such and such in this mental illness. Well, here's a letter. Here you go. That's the accommodations that I've done in the 3 times I've applied through your office then. Yes.
Okay. So you did go directly through Access Services.
That I believe whoever they were, they gave me what I needed to do, what I had to do. And I went on with the services. I have been written down as mentally ill since 2002. So this is nothing new. So yeah, you should have my paperwork in there. George R. Hoyte.
Okay, I'm going to take a look right now. And then when you worked with Access Services, who did you work with?
I really wouldn't know off the top of my head who exactly that person was. Whoever was at the time in charge of those things. They gave me what I needed when I first graduated with it.
Okay. Let me take a look right now, because when I took a quick peek in our files, I didn't see anything. But let me look at the paper copies. Give me 1 second. You've already done the ages, right? For scanning. Do you know where you put them? I need to find one student's file. The other ones? Okay, I'm gonna take a look. Thank you. All right, George, I can't find any documents. We keep documents for a while, but I can't see anything here.
I'm not surprised.
Well, we keep documents for 10 years. And that's pretty customary for all offices. You keep documents.
Except when it basically incriminates a board chair and a state representative.
Well, you said you worked with us in 2001 and 2008, right?
From 2001 to 2003. Then again, I came back to school 2006 to 2007. Then I came back in 2008 to 2010. I worked with them during that time again because of I filed a grievance against somebody who against Dave Pelkey, and I needed to be able to get extra time with my homework assignments. So they gave me basically they had me show that bring in a note from my doctor that I was actually mentally ill. So that should at least be on file, I'd imagine, that I do take pills and what kind of pills I take before they gave me the note to show all these people. Look, if this is only about Vernon Hosanna, what I want from Vernon Hosanna, if this is what he calls a mix-up, and I got a C basically because it's mixed up and I never got in the class and he just didn't know, I don't buy it. But regardless, I want the grade rescinded as if I never took the class. And Adam Myers has already let me know when I register for the class, Workforce will pay for it. He says he's on my side. Dan Small said he was on my side, and I ended up being brutally beaten by the police and in the mental hospital 24 hours later. So I don't know who to trust at TCC. So I don't trust anybody.
And how long was that?
That was in 2003 when the footage was found and whatever in the first place. So. But I mean, it's back to the Vernon Hosanna. Like I said, this is a 12-headed monster that I don't expect anybody just showing up to understand, because it's hard for me even to keep stuff straight and keep everything in the files that I have been able to keep throughout the years. However, what I want from Vernon Hosanna is to basically rescind that grade off of my class. It should have been an E because I didn't get into the class at all. I called the school the first day. It said to be announced on my portal for this class. The only reason I knew the class even started is because I was in the spruce, as you say it's called, with Samantha that day of the class. I called every person I could call in the building to find out where is the class, if there was a class, how the class works. I still don't know if there was a class. Now I'm hearing from Adam Myers on the phone conversation that I got a C out of the class. And that's the thing. I had to do this last quarter and I have to call Adam Myers, and I have to do that by appointment. And usually it's a 10 to 2 week wait before he could call you back from the appointment, how it's scheduled. So, I mean, chasing down these people who understand I have a history of a mental illness and not letting me into the class, that's garbage. That's garbage. And I mean, I'm tired of putting up with it from TCC. I've been putting it up ever since this birthday party, and it's time for it to stop. Even if this is done and it's rescinded, I'm glad this is being recorded, because when I go back to TCC, I want this on file, that if they try something like this in a similar fashion again, then we just have to deal with them accordingly.
Okay. So you had mentioned wanting to have the grade rescinded from the class with Vernon Hosanna. You don't understand how you got a C for the class when you did not attend it. Yep. So I will like to go back, because you had mentioned on the voicemail to me that you felt it was disability discrimination. So that's why, we scheduled this meeting.
It was taking advantage of my disability, basically, to basically discredit everything and get me out of class, get me out of the school, where I don't have any more student rights and I don't have any more power to bug these people about being in school anymore. That's what it was. That's part of the discrimination. He's a lawyer. He spoke to me. He knows how important it is to get in this class. He knows all the variables. Now, have I ever met the man? No. Can I get into a psychological thinking of, well, he came to you and did something so obvious, like pushed you down the steps or whatever. So now I could claim that you could claim it's discrimination. It is discrimination. Because if he's not making the class available to me in no way, shape, or form, if they keep messing around with my saying to be announced or whatever, if I call and I talk to you and I let you know, and I let them know on the same email, look, I got a mental illness, but I don't require too much. I just need to know where and when and how to get into the class.
So just to confirm, you did tell Vernon that he had a mental illness?
Yes, in that same email. Yeah. It's in that email that he answered.
Did Vernon at any point respond back to that comment in a condescending tone or anything that would make you feel that discrimination was present?
No, I don't know. He didn't say no. No, of course not. I mean, I wouldn't think he'd be a good attorney as far as, or even a good teacher, if he would be that stupid to write something like that down. I mean, if that's the type of evidence you need, then we really don't have nothing to discuss, because that's anybody who's that stupid, it will speak for itself.
Okay. So, and then you also have been working with Adam Meyer for everything else. Okay, so there's two things here. So it does become difficult, I will be honest with you, George, regarding proving disability discrimination when there's not physical or any written evidence of discrimination in terms of anything written in an email, any recording that a teacher said, because the Office of Civil Rights, when a claim is made regarding disability discrimination, that is what they look for. This is not TCC. This is the Office for Civil Rights, the national governing body. So they require evidence.
I think basically the whole idea of mental illness most of the time is a junk science anyway. But so it's hard to even prove that. So basically, we're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff that's in the air anyway. So I mean, if this is just, I would just like a copy of this. I thank you for your time. And I'll just keep a copy of this for my records and get with Adam Myers and just basically let him know, look, I'm gonna get back in school. I'll talk to what I still uphold my grievance that basically that grade, that C, I don't want a C, I don't want an E, just rescind the grade and I'll do this again. But
I will be honest too, that I don't think Adam Myers has that power to do that. There is a process though. Let me tell you the two things that you can do in your power, and I can give you access to these resources. Okay. So Adam can serve as an advocate for you, but there is a process that is voted on by the TCC governing body. And so what they do, they have two things. One is called a final course grade appeal process. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat, and I will email you a copy, because there's two possible things that you can do. So it sounds to me like you want to appeal this. Yeah. Now, this is a little interesting case because you didn't attend the class and you don't understand why you even got a grade to begin with. I agree. That's really confusing and I don't understand it. But here's one process. And when it comes to any form of policies, because this is a TCC policy, which is the final grade appeal process, you follow the policy. Now, any advocate that you've been working with on campus can help you with this. They can help you if you have any questions, do this. But it's pretty detailed. It says like step 1, what do you need to do? So it looks like you've already talked to the professor. So then the step 2 would be to contact the program chair. And then it has information of what to do, why you believe there's a discrepancy, documentation. So all the documentation you've already collected would be good evidence. And then all of that. And then after that, the chair has an opportunity to make a decision. If the chair sides with the student, then they, hopefully what you would want would happen. And if not, there's a formal appeal process, which then it goes to the dean or the manager, and then it would go to the second level of appeal process would go to the provost. Okay. A lot of things can be solved though by the first or second informal process. It's pretty straightforward. It's here to help the students. It really is very student centered in this approach. So that's one thing you could do. You could appeal the grade. Whoa. Number 2 is you can file for a withdrawal after the fact. So they call it a petition to policy exception. Did Adam tell you about that one?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so let me send you this too.
You send it to my email because I don't really understand Zoom.
Okay, so yeah, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so let me. So it's the TCC email or it's the serve notice?
No, my serve notice, please. Both of them.
Can you give that to me again?
SU is serve with a U. SURVE notice@gmail.com.
Okay, and what's the next one?
The next what?
You said there was 2 emails?
No, I meant the 2 things you're sending.
Okay.
Sending to the same address.
Okay, so I'm going to send you the grade appeal process link. And then there's the petition to policy exception.
Yeah.
And so I honestly, the students I work with, it's a different type of situation, but either one may be beneficial for you. What I recommend is sitting down with both documents to see which one fits your case better. Okay. Yeah. And then once you've done that, then follow the procedures exactly how it's stated. They're intended to help the students. I know you've faced a lot of issues with, as you mentioned, TCC in the past, but there's been a lot of changes over the years, and there's a lot of really good administration here that are really focused on helping students. So I definitely recommend you going through the process and see how it goes.
Okay.
So this is the petition to policy exception.
And could you send the link on how I could download this to our meeting with you and Ms. Williams?
Yes. I should be able to just put the recording in another email to you.
Okay, do that. That'll be cool.
Okay, so the petition for policy exception, the form is to request an exception to Tacoma Community College's withdrawal and refund deadlines. Now, this may be a little different, so you definitely want to talk to like financial aid or Adam to kind of see what's going on here. I don't know how this relates to tuition, how it relates to financial aid. I'm giving you resources.
I appreciate that.
And it'll have you like, is this a medical emergency? Is it non-attendance? What does this look like? So that might be for you, the non-attendance one. That might fit. So I would go ahead and look it over, see
Now,
fix your case.
Okay, well, if that fits my non-attendance, all that may fit the case. But being that I'm of the mind, basically, that this is of a more nefarious reason, who do I speak to about that, even if it has to do with my disability?
So
I mean, basically,
if it has to do with disability, if you can provide some hard evidence, we really.
What does that mean, hard when it's mental illness?
So if there is anything, if you have recordings or if you have information that an individual said specifically to you that is considered a discriminatory act, then that makes sense. But
basically, I'd have to catch something on camera in order for it to
not necessarily on camera, but be it via email. If a professor said something that made you feel uncomfortable, that, the email that you sent me from Vernon Hosanna, when I looked at it, it's pretty friendly. Vernon says, oh, I'm so sorry, here's extra time. So, to me, it appears that maybe, Vernon did not look at your entire message, glazed over, and just put it in there. And okay. So it's hard to prove disability discrimination when we have stuff like that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Does it make sense I got a C and I never did an assignment or seen the man in my life?
That does not make sense. That whole thing is very confusing to me. And I definitely think the best person to actually contact about that, if you don't feel like talking to Vernon, would be the chair of the department. And Vernon is in the legal program.
Christine Kearney, is that her?
I don't think it's Christine Kearney. I thought Christine Kearney was in the communication department. Let me check. And so you do not feel comfortable with approaching Vernon Hosanna?
I don't know Vernon Hosanna. And as far as I'm concerned, in my mind, he's just a cat's paw. Yes, he's going to sound friendly. Yes, he's going to do everything except give me what I need to get in his class, take his class, get my rightful grade that I should get taking his class. I don't mind taking his class and flunking his class. I just want to take.
You want to earn it. Yeah, you want to earn that grade. My honest opinion, George, because this is very odd. It is very odd that you got a grade for a class that you didn't attend.
I know why I got a grade for the class. I'm just being skipped through now that basically I've put forth evidence of why this is going on. I guess they didn't think I'd sit down and finally release it, but I have. Okay. So it's just give them a C, let them go on and whatever. No. But that's what I think. But yes, he sounded
there's no reason that they would believe you participated. So nothing you turned in, you didn't show up to class at all.
I don't even know if there is a class.
Okay. So yeah, I honestly, which it's very confusing, a good place to start would be contacting Vernon and the chair of the department.
I don't have nothing to say to him. The chair of the department, because like I said, the whole aspect of giving me a grade now for this, now that it's become an issue, is I mean, even if it's supposedly in my favor, isn't that discrimination in and of itself? Isn't that proof of discrimination of my mental capacity that you're just going to give me a C? Why not give me an A+ then? Screw it. Why don't you just give me
I cannot speak. And unfortunately, I cannot speak to why the professor did what they did. It could have been an accident. It could, we don't know. We frankly do not know. And that's what makes this a very, difficult situation is that there's not a lot of information. There's not a lot of information surrounding, the conversation with Vernon, what was going on. So if you have anything else besides what you sent me, absolutely, please send that my way.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like I say, I hold on to different things for when these type of issues come up and I'm handed to someone and it's like, well, this is not enough. It's something we could do, because eventually I'll come across somebody that it is enough for, and the icing on the cake will just be sent then. But I mean, I thank you for your time, and I thank you for resources. I'll check them out. I'll check out whoever's in thing with the board or withdrawing the grade and whatever and try to go back to school. If you could just send me this in some kind of file that I could either download, and if it also too, in case something's up with the download, if you could send the actual Zoom thing anyway where I could download it myself if need be, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. I don't know if it lets you without being in my account, and unfortunately I can't give you access to my Zoom account. So
okay,
I will send you.
Paul Landry was able to send me, but I'm a student, so maybe that's it.
It could be.
Right.
Not sure about that. And obviously, any recording that you use, we please ask that you don't post on social media if you can. This is.
Yeah, I don't want to post this one on social media anyway, but I have posted the other ones.
Sure.
But like I said, hey, I will not guarantee if it comes to some call proving my point, because these people have put me in jail in Western State and all these places to shut me up already, and they ain't gonna shut me up this time without a fight.
I understand.
So
It's
that's
been
what's up.
very.
So I can't promise it, but that's what's up.
Okay, I understand. It's been a very traumatizing, situation for you, and
very.
It sounds like it.
People who knows, documented, and if it's not in my file, then it's taken out of my file because it's been reported 3 times. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah. And one thing to note though is that most, and in fact, all schools, there is a amount of years that we are required to hold student files for. So typically it's 7 years. 7 years is a requirement of files. So it's just some context to understand if from reasons.
I've held on to the files that I've had, and I've submitted.
That's good. It's good to keep your files. I just wanted you to know that a lot of institutions hold student records for 7 years. That's typically the norm.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Allen. Okay.
My pleasure. And if you have any other form of concerns regarding disability discrimination, you can feel free to reach out to me.
Well, if it ever comes into the point that they slip up and ever get that crazy and do something, I actually will. But unless it's something that I could prove on, and no, this is not a Rodney King moment where somebody's gone by on a camera and it's just some gotcha thing like that. This is way more refined than that. And if it has to be more refined than that, there's something that can be seen like a mental illness, then y'all can't help me anyway unless it comes to that. But I thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And, I appreciate you telling your story to Miss Laquita and I. And like I said, if there's anything else that falls under the realm of disability discrimination, please feel free to reach out. Other than that, I will go ahead and send you this recording as soon as it processes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, this time we bring a full special from the abandoned North State Mental Hospital here in Washington State.
So about a year ago, we thought we visited this hospital, but it turns out we only went to the farm grounds. And so that video got posted, a lot of people commented, told us exactly where to go. So now we're at the actual hospital.
Dominic Emery server notice at gmail.com 6:47 a.m. 1 hour ago. To Spanish me, Spanish, Carol. Please be safe. Inbox search for all messages with label inbox. Remove label inbox from this conversation. Vina Coke Grinink mail system at Grinink. Mailer. Apolio. Us. 2A March 7th, 9:27 a.m. To me. Dear residents. This notice is to advise you of suspected criminal activity in the community. Management has received notice of, and the local authorities are currently investigating the incident thoroughly. Residents with information or questions regarding the incident are encouraged to contact the police department. As a community, it is in everyone's best interest to remain smart, alert, and proactive at all times. It is recommended that you become acquainted with your neighbors and stay alert to any suspicious activity. When walking within the community, it is suggested that you be accompanied by at least one other person with whom you are familiar, and remain aware of your surroundings at all times. It is recommended that you keep your apartment, home, and car doors locked at all times, and be sure all windows are securely closed and locked. Always look through the peephole before you unlock and open your door. It is recommended that you do not open your door for strangers. Please note that a courtesy patrol officer is available on the property. The courtesy patrol officer is not the police and cannot ensure your safety or security. However, the courtesy patrol officer will provide assistance if possible. The telephone number for the courtesy patrol is 253-535-4433. Telephone 253-535-4433. If a crime is suspected of occurring or needs to be reported, please dial 911 to contact local law enforcement immediately. After first calling the police, please report all incidents to the management office or appropriate on-site personnel. This notice is intended to provide beneficial information allowing you to make appropriate decisions regarding your personal safety. Crime occurs everywhere and no one can ensure your safety or the safety of your belongings. Be advised that you should maintain insurance coverage for yourself, your vehicle, and your other personal belongings. Please remember that your security is your responsibility and that of the local law enforcement. Dominic Emery serve a notice at gmail.com. 2:45 a.m. 4 hours ago.
To Vina. Dear Spanish Hills Apt. Management. I deny all charges, if in fact there are any actual legitimate charges. I have lived here since 1999. I have no intention of leaving. I don't understand why I have been paying for apartment insurance for years and not being able to use it. I have been attacked without due process twice, and I am sick of the excuse of mental illness being used to justify my persecution. There are too many questions in this case for me to just pack up and leave without due process, and I don't believe Spanish Hills have clean hands on this issue. In short, I will see you in court. George Hoyte. P.S. If you need to reach me concerning this legal matter, please email me and set an appointment at servanotice@gmail.com. I will be in today to serve you this written document and to pick up my mail. Thank you. Writ of habeas corpus concerning George Randolph Hoyte Jr. to the court concerning the involuntary empoisonment of the body and person of George R. Hoyte Jr. I am requesting the immediate release of Tay defendant and forced medical treatment from police and fire department and the unmust exploring and invasion of home and property. We direct to violations provided and protected by a Bill of Rights in America. Home invasion. Kidnapping, no due process assault. Destruction of private property. Possible arson. Asset removal. This is the second time the police have attempted a home invasion of my apartment, and I want to be free from this harassment and be compensated for my pain and suffering. George R. Hoyte. Last Will and Testimony. By George Ramsage Hoyte Jr., George Randolph Hoyte Jr., George Rampehayamur, Dominance Fortune the Infamous Game Untamed, Servi Notice, R.A. Destruction, Salim Osiris Shabazz, Dismas Emmanuel Amur. To whom it may concern. By no stretch of the imagination am I suical or particulti homicalid. However, in the event of my untimely death for any reason, I have sound mind and body do leave all my worldly possessions, donated to the Evergreen State College Tacoma campus, Maxine Mims/Carol Mitchell, IBJ. In the event, there is to be no resuscitatin, not equals no organ donorship. Just burn the body. I love you all, Tacoma, WA. Yours truly, GRA, Black Sheep of Tacoma, Xmas Ea Tel Victoria. Dear Vina, Spanish Hills Management. I have read and reviewed your noticeably signed eviction document, and agree that the perceived facts seem concerning. However, the lack of due process in this case and the fact that this is the second home invasion in 6 months leads me to believe that the true facts of the matter can be resolved strictly by reviewing the undedited footage of the firefighters and police body cameras from forced entry to kidnapping without due process to involuntary imprisonment. Please consider these bodies of evidence before making any further reckless accusaciones. George R. Hoyte 2,533,015,421 Room 1416. To Wellbound Doc Unit. I understand that due to a lack of my medication, I was admitted into involuntary care at Wellbound Hospital. After weeks of treatment, I am feeling fine, and want to be discharged as soon as possible. Things I need: my food stamp card, my Apple insurance card, social security card, and a bus pass. Spanish Hills Living Conditions should know a plan where meds can be delivered to my door. These are my requests. and I'm asking to be relieved from custody immediately. Thank you, Gr. Hoyte. To Tom Horton. I am hoping for a temporary discharge as soon as possible, as I need to pack up my belongings and put them in storage since I have now been evicted due to the lies and half-truths of the police and fire department. Judge and Mr. Josh Cook. I want out today to take of my business. My eviction is due on the 8th of July. I have a lot of packing to do. To Maxine Mims. In the event that I cannot hold on to my mother's works of art, I give them to Maxine Mims and Carol Mitchell, who have proven to me that they are most capable of using their mysterious powers responsibly. To my SW, I would like to set up my EBT card and Medicaid card as soon as possible, thank you. To Mark Anthony Urban/Chavez. I am writing to request a copy of the transcript and any video/audio of my trial for my personal archive. I am also requesting an appeal on this decision, as it is my estimation that mens rea and foul play have been involved. I am also requesting the other 2 court appearances transcript/audio/veto done in November-December 2022 at Multicare Hospital. To Dr. Hoa, Dr. Emily Robinson of Ellenmore. Dr. Hoa was the one who signed my beloved mother's death certificate. At the time, so much madness was going around me that I never got to say goodbye to my mother, Anastasia Armorer. I would like all documents, video and audio, and what was done to save her life, and her final moments, immediately. To Dr. Emily Robinson. Whether strictly liable or negligent, your steroid injection was the catalyst that made my mom's inflammation spread so fast around her body she was unable to move. This matter is far from legally settled between us. To Angela Naylor, CEO, Chris Ray-Keenas, CFO, Brian Neal MD, CMO, Ryamian Service, CCO, Crystal Edwards, Director of Utilization Management. We the inmonts both voluntary and involuntarily, by way of expectation under constitutional law, and just plain human ethics, have certain demands that we want to see happen here at EWB Hospital. We want access to internet and email facility for the patients. We want a room provided for exercise equipment. We find it ridiculous to be constantly fed and not be able to work off calories contributing to poor health. We want the right to refuse any medication that would destroy or change sexual energy or orientation to be charged with a crime before a crime is committed is illegal at worst, and unethical at best. We want complete access to the local and global news. The excuse of trigger to keep us isolated from the outside world is unacceptable. Those that don't want to see the news always have the power to leave the room. Only the universe or the Most High gives or grants rights. Rights are a manner of ownership. We, as living entities, as the sole owners of our purpose and our journey. Therefore, we humble challenge whether our rights can be diminished or taken away under any circumstance. Rights can only be imposed by a corrupt government that has tread over the Bill of Rights, and now threaten the belief of rule of law here in America. Sincerely yours. Chattel named George R. Hoy Jr., Acutal named Dismas Emmanuel Amur. Dear Wellfound. I am making a few requests concerning my situation here at Wellfound, and would like to be pointed in the right directions to those who could help me. The true nature of my illness, I would like to speak to my provider and perhaps see their files concerning my treatment for said illness. I would like a copy of the fire department and police report, including unedited body camera footage of both for my personal discovery and defense testimony. I would like Multicare involuntary administration, no due process, of my person in November of 2022. Paperwork files and all audio/video conflict footage for my personal discovery for my archives. I also request all conflict footage audio/video from Wellfound along with all court transcripts from my archives for discovery and defense testimony. I will be requesting from Multicare all files and footage of the death of my mother, Anastasia Amur, as her HCA and only son. In short, I will be seeking to countersue for all rights diminished or George R. Hoyte resumed. Serve a notice at gmail.com. Paralegal student /barber/bartender/professional performer. Accomplishments. Co-author and published book, The Obia Woman, by Anastasia Armour, available at Amazon. TacomaRadio.com. 2018 spokesman for the Empowerment Zone Team in 1993. Traveled to Washington, D.C. with Tacoma. Mayor Harold Moss, Freight House Square owner Keith Stone, and others. Met with the Secretary of HUD. Henry Cisneros and other delegates contributed to earning $2 million for the city of Tacoma. Articles and pictures are published in the News Tribune and Facebook. Performed at the Tacoma Dome twice for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration in 2009 and 2010 with Drive John Falskow, Dean of Tacoma Community College / conductor of Seattle Symphony. Together, we formed the group Survey Notice and Theory. We have recorded and released multiple albums and have done college tours around Tacoma and Seattle, WA. Another member of our group is Sam Caviezel Basshoven. Is a current clarinet player for the Philadelphia Orchestra. Member of Stride since 1991. A youth local access television group that produced the show What's. Later, I reproduced the show at TCC from 2001 to 2003 called What's Up? College Edition. I was the producer of the show and the president of the club. Starred in multiple PSAs for television. EFN, Food for Thought, 1990, Pecan Stuck, 1992. MTV Rock the Vote, About Us, 1994, Evergreen Law Group, Identification, Search, Shut Up. 2011-1992 Youth Hall of Fame Creative Genius Award for creating poetic / rap form of the classic story of Hamlet. The work was published in Ocean Edge magazine in 1993. My name was engraved on two stones in the Tacoma Mall for 10 years honoring the Youth Hall of Fame. Guest on Tacoma Radio, Y.104.9 for the song Blood Oath, a tribute to Urban League Academy. Teacher, Michelle Bucree. Published poet for the Tacoma Northwest Dispatch newspaper, 1998 to 2002. Multiple works published in El Calcho magazine, a Latino newspaper in Tacoma. 1999 spokesman for Evergreen State College Tacoma Law Club. Worked on expungement clinic. Participated in the San Francisco Clio LSAT workshop. Guest on the Podcast Institute for Black Justice, hosted by Carol Mitchell. Promoted the book, The Older Woman 2021 Hip Hop Historian and creator of the Survey Notice Hip Hop Museum on Facebook. Highlights Northwest Hip Hop in a broad history and cultural narrative. Features live interviews, information, and links. Also features the blog, The Artifacts newsletter, written and published by myself. Professional experience. Public speaking and leadership. I am a professional performer that has been in the spotlight since I was 12 years old. I have perfected my craft through years of educational training, practice, and life experience. For this reason, I am usually the face man when it comes to promoting a group effectively. I am a published author, and I have acquired multiple skills throughout my years of educational training. I am highly creative and can usually come up with groundbreaking ideas when brainstorming alone or in a group. Youth Hall of Fame Creative Genius Award. Empowerment Zone spokesman for the youth and young adults of Tacoma. Spokesman for the Law Club at Evergreen State College, Tacoma. Employment History Northwest Dispatch, Tacoma, Washington, 1992 to 2001 reporter / poet journalist Tower Records, Tacoma, Washington, 1992 to 1994 buyer, cashier, customer service, custodian Texaco gas station, Tacoma, Washington, 1995 cashier / product stocker / customer service professional services unlimited. Fort Lewis, Washington, 1996 dishwasher / busser do well services and supplies, city, state, 1997 commissary warehouse worker / custodian strive, Tacoma, Washington, 1991 to 2003 reporter / director / camera tech / video editor / spokesman Evergreen Law Group, Olympia, Washington, 2012 to 2012 paralegal in training DSHS, Anastasia Armour, Tacoma, Washington, 2017 to 2021 home care assistant education Stadium High School, Tacoma, Washington, 1992 HS Diploma, General Urban League Academy, Tacoma, Washington, 1998 certificate, Business Communications / typing Tacoma Community College, Tacoma, Washington, 2008 Associate of Arts, Business Administration, Bates Technical College, Tacoma, Washington, 2008 LL. B. Barber / Stylist Bartending Academy, Tacoma, Washington, 2008 LL. D. Mixologist Evergreen State College, Tacoma, Tacoma, Washington, 2012 Bachelor of Arts, Liberal Arts Communication Skills Reading, Writing, Leadership, Public Speaking, Typing, Acting, Performing Arts, H. Paralegal Experience, Business Communication, Negotiation, Age video operator, editor, creative ingenuity, customer service. Publications The Obia Woman by Anastasia Armour. The Obia Woman. August 2017, novel, book, The Artifacts newsletter. The Artifacts newsletter. Blogger. April 2022, to the Servine Notice Hip Hop Museum. The Servine Notice Hip Hop Museum. Facebook. March 2022, Northwest Dispatch. Multiple poems for newspaper by George Hoyte. Virginia Taylor, Pat Richardson. January 2002, The Evergreen Law Club. Tacoma Facts Newspaper. Tacoma, WA. January 2011, affiliation spokesman / reporter / director / camera and video tech. Strive. Tacoma, WA. 1991 to 2003, a spokesman for youth and young adults at Tacoma, WA. Tacoma Empowerment Zone Team, Tacoma, WA. 1993 to 1994, camera tech / actor / TV, Tacoma, WA. 1999 to 2003, paralegal in training, Evergreen Law Group, Olympia, WA. 2011 as student body senator, Tacoma Community College, Tacoma, WA. 2008 to 2022, licensing mixologist, Bartending Academy, Tacoma, WA. 2008, traffic control flagger, Tacoma Community College, Tacoma, WA. 2008, barber stylist, Bates Technical College, Tacoma, WA. 2007 to 2008, training LSAT prep, Clio Law Conference, San Francisco, TA. 2011 honors Hamlet. Rap, George R. Hoyte, Youth Hall of Fame Creative Genius Award, Tacoma, WA. 1992 ASG Scholarship Award, Bates Technical College, Tacoma, WA. 2008 Talent What's Up / What's Up, College Edition, producer / performer / director / actor, Tribe, Honor Roll, remember George Rampage Armor, Black Sheep of Tacoma, Whole Movie, producer, performer, actor, director, editor, Students Television.
Harold G. Moss, Council Member, District No. 4. December 16, 1998. To whom it may concern. I am writing this letter on behalf of Mr. George Hoyte, a young man that I have come to know and admire over the past 4 to 5 years. I met Mr. Hoyte during the time I served on the Tacoma City Council and as mayor of the city. Mr. Hoyte was chosen to represent the city's youth in Tacoma's Empowerment Zone application in 1994. During this time, Mr. Hoyte, along with city staff, community representatives, Congressman Norm Dix and I traveled to Washington, D.C. to make the formal presentation of our application directly to Henry Cisneros, Secretary, Department of Housing and Urban Development. It was during that time I noticed George's rare gift for negotiation. He spoke with the Secretary confidently, listened and demonstrated a patience far beyond his years. The Secretary confidently listened and remarked about his presentation and depth of knowledge of what young people could expect from being included in the application. George continues to be active in the community. His participation has centered on his interest and skills in media projects. He's an excellent interviewer who possesses a real sense of depth and asks insightful questions. He is also involved with Strive, a youth-sponsored television program that focuses on involving young people in the direct hands-on experience of video production. I am particularly pleased with his production called Jones in the Speed Zone. The show, which was created as a result of a vision George had, is aimed at educating young people on how to deal with the issues they face. The show hopes to impact young people by showcasing their peers handling negative situations in positive ways. It is using the old adage, if you give a man a fish, he can eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. I take great pride in recommending him to you as a dedicated young man whom I have a lot of faith in and who has a bright future ahead of him. Should you have additional questions or would like further information, please feel free to contact me at 253-798-7590. Sincerely, Harold G. Moss, Council Member, District 4.
Of a classical education.
The Evergreen State College, Tacoma Campus, March 12, 2022. To whom it may concern. From Peter Bacho, J.D., LLM. Regarding George Hoyte, TCC student. George Hoyte, my former student at the Evergreen State College Tacoma campus, has asked me for a letter of support for financial assistance in order to continue in his academic program. I do so gladly. I have had him in an array of classes during his time at the Tacoma campus. I was also his advisor and know his work well. As a student, George was outstanding, gifted, and focused. His questions and comments on issues ranging from law, politics, history, literature, and public policy demonstrated careful preparation for each class discussion. He is a mature, dedicated, and highly focused adult learner. He was a meticulous researcher and a strong writer. He demonstrated sophisticated critical thinking skills. He is capable of analyzing government policies and assessing their impact, especially on our most vulnerable populations. In other areas, he always listened carefully and collaborated very effectively with others, a key in the academic, political, and professional realms. During group project work, he was patient with his fellow students and thoughtful. Other students valued his contributions and enjoyed working with him. In short, he is an empathetic person, concerned about the direction of our nation and the obvious burdens faced by other Americans, especially people in the margins. He is determined to make a difference. He was thriving at the Tacoma campus, working effectively in diverse groups and producing excellent outcomes. I fully support George's goal of procuring enough assistance to complete his academic goals at TCC. He is a talented student with great potential. Please feel free to contact me batchup at Evergreen. EDU if you have further questions. C.R. Taylor Law, P.E.S. 203 4th Avenue East Suite 407. Olympia, Washington 98501. March 9, 2022. To whom it may concern. I am writing concerning George Hoyte. I am an attorney, in practice continuously since 2006. Between 2007 and 2011, I worked with a firm called the Evergreen Law Group, PES, located in Olympia, Washington. I was one of the managing partners of the firm, beginning in 2009. During that time, I represented individuals accused of crimes and represented people who had been the victims of police misconduct in civil, federal litigation. In 2010, the Evergreen Law Group employed George Hoyte as an intern. As one of the managing partners, I had the opportunity to both supervise and work closely with Mr. Hoyte. As I recall, Mr. Hoyte's job duties included both duties along the lines of a legal assistant, answering the telephone, greeting clients, filing legal documents, assisting with organizing the calendar, but also assisting with developing a marketing strategy. In particular, I recall Mr. Hoyte assisting in writing a script for a video advertisement, and actually appeared as an actor in that video. My recollection is that Mr. Hoyte was eager to learn about the interworkings of a criminal defense/police misconduct legal practice, and more than capable of providing a positive contribution. Mr. Hoyte reached out to me recently and indicated he is currently enrolled in a paralegal program at Tacoma Community College. I worked with a graduate of that program in the past, and am aware of other attorney colleagues also using that program as a source of office staff. I have no concerns about Mr. Hoyte's ability to complete the program and find work in the legal field upon graduation. Regards, /S/Christopher Taylor. Christopher Taylor, Attorney at Law. 36035280004, voice, Taylor Law. Com 36057010006, fax.
21st, 2022. To whom IT may concern. RE, reference for George Hoyte. Please accept this letter of reference and recommendation for Mr. Hoyte, whom I have known since he was my high school student during the early 1990s and throughout the time since then. I have no reservations whatsoever in my support for this young man whose brilliance and capabilities have, unfortunately, been obscured and untapped by the circumstances of his life for much of his young adulthood. Mr. Hoyte has a keen intellect, a love of knowledge and a strong work ethic, the likes of which I truly have not seen many times in my 35+ years as an educator. Beyond that, he has a deep and abiding love of humanity and strives always, in his personal and professional life, to work for truth, equality and justice for all. As the only child of his invalid mother, Mr. Hoyte's launch into the fullness of his potential has been postponed for nearly 20 years because he cared for his mother, for the past 7 years, full-time. Since his mother's recent passing, he has been working, with support from Employment Security, Workforce Education Services Tacoma Community College and staff and faculty who know him, to complete a paralegal studies degree. Mr. Hoyte has aspired to be a lawyer for as long as I've known him, and he is finally in a place where he can begin to realize a career in the legal profession. Right now, he is facing yet another hurdle. After applying for unemployment and beginning studies under the Worker Retraining Grant Program, he was informed by Employment Security that he wouldn't qualify for training benefits because paralegal is not currently in demand. It happens that one of my professional roles for over 5 years was as worker retraining specialist, and so I have been also assisting him with advice on appealing this decision. I have no doubt that Mr. Hoyte, given the chance to complete his paralegal degree while continuing to collect his unemployment, will be very successful in his legal career. He is a fine young man with drive and determination and is exactly the kind of person we want in our legal profession. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Lori Arnold, M.Ed. Independent Consultant. claritynpno@gmail.com.
To educate the prosecutor into how evidence is gathered and made for the procedure.
When you're all on the same page, a lot more information is going to come around and around and around, and it's going to make a stronger case.
It becomes important, but we know what the available resources are in the community. The partnership between officers and victim advocates is vitally important because eventually victims are going to receive information
My whole life, I've waited for this moment time that I find the perfect match to forever be mine. I've been to many places, smiled at many faces, felt the empty spaces, false hearted races. Has time been wasted on these love chases, or did it bring me back to the basics? Or all past relations and preparations for revelations I'm facing? Yeah, I need more than refills, so one night cheap thrills, pipe dreams and strawberry hills is a big deal. And so, to be real, I've learned my lessons, and now it's time I pop the question. Will you marry me? Will you be my wife? Will you be the one to share my life? Will you be there through the rough years together and face fear wherever I'm at? Please be there. Yeah, for rich and for poor, through peace and through war. I pop the question cause I'm sure in life we have ups and downs, but I need to know you still be around. I need to know you'll have my back when the demons attack. You'll be there to keep me on track. Woman, I love you. I want you to be my wife, my whole life.
The results of the continuation of this very serious mistake affecting
on inside. Stalking. It's repeated, it's unwanted.
It's a hysterical invention of the feminists.
What happened when it broke up with him?
I saw a look on his face that really scared me. He has to be completely total. He'd set up programs on the computer to record me if I was on the computer.
They do the crime and you do the time. Hi, I'm Jenny Brocky. Welcome everybody. Good to have you with us tonight. James, your case has been through the family court, which is why we can't identify you. You've been to jail for stalking. Tell us.
Good question. What did I do? I walked down the street doing shopping. I went to have a go of golf one day. I sent Christmas birthday cards to my children.
And those things involved you coming into contact with either your ex or your children, or being near them. Being in breach of intervention orders.
An intervention, yeah, that's basically it.
Why were the intervention orders taken out?
Because I was being divorced. I was having an involuntary divorce imposed upon me. And this is a time of the divorce industry. Separate you from your children. The big money is in what they quaintly call the custody battle. It's standard procedure to take out an intervention order on one of the parents, remove them from the children. They've got to go back into the court to try and get their children, their kidnapped children back. Both sides have got to go back.
You said that you ended up in
I did, yeah. I'm more than one occasion.
And this was for multiple breaches of family violence intervention orders.
Well, they make them up as they go along. It's called loading up the charges. They grab arbitrary arrest and dragged off the street, and they just write out lists of charges. Now, one of them, of course, was sending my life to one of my children through a third party. I was living my life in the suburb I lived in for 7 years. Invariably, I come into line of eye contact with my ex-wife. I wouldn't do anything which anyone else in the country isn't entitled to do.
It wasn't just your family.
Another woman who I exchanged words with in the street on one occasion.
Who was that?
Well, an ex-family friend who, in actual fact, had been stalking me.
What about the psychologist?
What about the psychologist?
Charged with stalking too.
No,
Check out my new book, The Lost Sheep Blog, Evergreen Tacoma 2009 to 2012, by George Rampage Hoyte. Exclusively Amazon.com. $14.69 hard copy. 99 cents Kindle copy. Buy your copy today. Support for the Black Sheep. Description: enter the world of Tacoma, Washington, the 253, with Survey Notice, aka George Rampage Hoyte, Dominic Fortune, the infamous Game Untamed, as we take you through the 80s to the 2000s with celebrity interviews in the Northwest, to college interviews during the strike. What's up? And what's up? College edition spanning from TCC, Bates, and Evergreen State College, Tacoma. Warning: some footage is really old and underground grinding, so I apologize for the rough quality. However, it is a journey through memory lane for those on Hilltop who live it. Subscribe, comment, and find me at myspace.com/servanotis facebook.com/servanotis facebook.com/evergreen tacomala boomdizzle.com/servanotis or email me at servanotis@gmail.com. See you soon. Survey Notice.
Obia Woman by Anastasia Armorer. Author, George Hoyte. Editor, 4.7 out of 5 stars. 6. Prepare for a magical, spiritual adventure that takes place on the island of Trinidad. A land brimming with soul, culture and the mysterious practice Caladovia. In the book The Obia Woman,
You will follow the story of Dora Van Hart, or as the people of Trinidad call her, Mother Dora, through a magical tale that follows the life of an Obia woman as she uses her mystical secrets to both aid and engage in spiritual warfare in the service of her people. The Obia law, passed in Jamaica in around 1898, remains in force with only a few minor amendments today. In this book, The Obia Woman, by author Anastasia Armorer, you will experience the fictional account of a secret practice of Obia as revealed through Mother Dora. Along with beautiful illustrations of full-color portraits of the hidden black gods and goddesses, and a tale that will transport you through life in Trinidad and spiritual warfare with hordes of the dark side, the only thing left to do is brace yourself for a fantastic cultural adventure in the book The Obia Woman. Biography Anastasia Armorer, who has traveled a long road since her girlhood in the mountains of Trinidad, writes about mystic adventures in her novels. Drawing on this African-Caribbean tradition, which she learned from her aunties, she puts the healing and good magical powers of the Obia women African-American culture in her books. Anastasia Armorer has been student body president at Tacoma Community College, in Washington, where she holds an associate degree. She has been a social worker and a community organizer. Her novel is growing as fantastically as one of the spells of the Obia woman herself.
What is an Obia woman? That's the name of her book, and it's full of her illustrations. So what would Anastasia tell us about the Obia woman?
Well, I mean, if I go by the story Mother Dora in her book, the Obia woman was basically the woman that she was like the second mother to everybody in the community, particularly in there in Trinidad, like the village situation it is. If you had a problem, you went and go see the Obia woman. Whether it was something to be fixed herbally, fixed psychically, fixed spiritually, or just some good old advice, she was basically your second mother, that someone you could listen, that would listen to you, ear for a shoulder for you to cry on. She was basically the mother of the community, and that's where my mother got the character Mother Dora in her book Obia Woman, as far as, basically she's going around helping most of the people in the community. The story gets more complex than that, of course, but that's the gist of the Obia Woman. She was basically the woman that you'd come to whenever you had a problem that, couldn't be solved.
The Obia Woman by Anastasia the Phoenix Armorer. Chapter 6. Early Monday morning, the ringing of the telephone roused Dora out of a deep sleep. She hurried to put on her robe and ran downstairs to answer it. Hello. Mother Dora, come quick. This is Ingrid, at the restaurant. It's unbelievable, Mother, we are overrun by mice. They are everywhere, thousands of them. Calm down, Ingrid. Where are you now? I'm across the street at Mr. Wright's butcher shop. I can't go in the restaurant, Mother, the mice are everywhere. All right, Ingrid, you stay where you are and I will be right there. Dora hung up the phone and quickly returned to her bedroom. This is the work of Kokaka. She thought to herself as she quickly changed her clothes. So, she has found a way to get to me because of Shanka. Well, it took me 10 years to build up my restaurant to this point where it is making a good profit, and I am not going to allow her to destroy my business. After she changed her clothes, Dora took her basket and got into her truck. She has had this old Ford truck for over 10 years, and everyone in the village knew that the big yellow truck belonged to Mother Dora. She drove as fast as possible along the main road that led to Street James. As she drove, she became more angrier at Kopeka. It was about 7 a.m. when Dora pulled her truck up to her restaurant called the 14 Carrots. Ingrid ran out of the butcher shop to greet her. "Oh, Mother Dora, I'm so glad you are here. I have never seen anything like this in my whole life." "It's alright, girl, just calm down." Dora slowly walked over to the window of the restaurant and looked in. The mice were everywhere. They covered all the tables and counters. She couldn't even see the floor. Dora walked to the door. "Don't go in there, Mother." Ingrid intercepted her and held onto her tightly. "It's all right, Ingrid. You stay out here and I will be just fine." Dora opened the door and walked inside. The mice on the floor scrambled to move away from her feet. She moved slowly from the main hall of the restaurant into the kitchen. The mice were eating everything in sight. She could feel the presence of the evil spirit that controlled the creatures emanating from the pantry. Dora enhanced her spiritual shield by drawing the white light of the universe into her aura. The pantry was glowing red, as though it was on fire. She moved closer, and stood in the doorway. The mice were pouring out of the room. "Who are you?" asked Dora, as she stared into the red light. Suddenly, a deep masculine voice laughed in a low chilling tone. "Ha ha 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 ha. What do you want here?" asked Dora angrily. "I have what I want," said the voice, "a new place to dwell with my family." "Ha ha ha. This is my place, and you are not welcome here," Dora shouted. The noise from the screeching mice rose higher, as they piled on top of each other, scrambling to move away from where Dora was standing. Ingrid ran back to the butcher shop. "Mr. Wright! Mr. Wright! Come quick!" Mother Dora went into the restaurant with all the mice, and I can't see her anymore. Alan Wright was a big man, about 6'3" and 260 pounds. He was a very strong, very dark man with piercing eyes. His demeanor was that of someone who could handle anything. His assistant Thomas looked like his brother, they were so much alike. The two men walked across the street to the restaurant and looked into the window. They could hardly believe their eyes. "My God!" exclaimed Alan as he stood at the window looking at the mice inside. "Mother Dora is in there?" asked Thomas in disbelief. "Yes, she is," said Ingrid. The young woman was very afraid. "I tried to stop her, but she went in anyway. You must help her." The men looked at each other and then turned again to look at the mice. "I have never seen anything like this in my entire life," said Alan. "What can we do?" asked Thomas, looking to his boss Alan for the answer. "Well, we can open the doors and take some pans from the butcher shop, bang them together and chase the mice out of the restaurant. Then, we can find Mother Dora and bring her out." Alan was sure that this was the best way to handle this situation. Dora stood in the doorway of the pantry, as she confronted the evil spirit. "This is my place now, Dora," the voice yelled at her from the pantry. "You forfeited when you interfered in Kopeka's business with Shanka. He had an agreement with her. Now you must pay for the broken contract." "I don't owe her, or you, a damn thing. Now get your ass and your vermin out of here," Dora shouted back at the evil spirit in anger. Suddenly, a loud noise of pots banging came from the main dining room. It was Alan and Thomas trying to scare away the mice. Ingrid peered at them through the window. At first the mice ran in every direction, but suddenly, without warning, they turned and jumped on the men by the hundreds. The two men screamed and swung wildly with their arms as the mice ate their flesh. Ingrid screamed as she ran away from the restaurant. Dora knew what was happening, but she could not help the men. She simply could not turn her back on the evil spirit. "I know you, demon," said Dora as she stared into the red light. "You are Visago," she shouted. Upon hearing his name, the demon appeared in the red light. He was an old man riding on a crocodile. "I'm not going anywhere." He threw his head back and laughed at Dora as she reached into her basket. She knew just what was needed to get rid of this particular demon. She took out a bottle filled with a red powder. It was dragon's blood. She poured some of the powder into her hand. "Begone, Visago, and never return. I banish you with the blood of the dragon and send all of your evil vermin away with you." With these words, Dora threw the powder at the demon. The demon screamed as his large crocodile went into a spin and flew off into another dimension. A great wind followed them, sucking all of the mice into the portal. Dora backed away from the door of the pantry, as she held tightly to her basket to keep it from being sucked into the portal. After a few minutes, it was over, and the portal closed. The pantry was normal again, and all that was left of the mice were their droppings, which were everywhere. After anointing the walls of the pantry with blessed olive oil, Dora walked into the main dining room to find the two men with the flesh eaten off of their bodies. The gruesome scene upset her terribly, as she looked down at the remains of the men who came to help her. Dora pulled herself together, and walked over to the phone in the hall to call the police. "Hello, officer. My name is Dora Van Hart, and I am the owner of the 14 Carrots restaurant here in Street James. Please send a car out at once. 2 men have been killed." "How were they killed?" asked the officer. "They were eaten alive by mice." "They were what? Is this some kind of a joke?" The young officer could not believe his ears. "This is no joke, sir. Please send someone at once." Dora was still very upset when she hung up the phone, so she decided to wait for the police outside. She did not have long to wait for them. They came with sirens blasting and lights flashing. As they pulled their squad cars and ambulances up the curb in front of the restaurant, they saw that the entire restaurant was covered in mice droppings, but no mice could be found anywhere. The officers could not believe their eyes. After the bodies were removed, the police closed and sealed the restaurant for further investigation. Dora had to tell her story again at the police station. When it was all over, she got in her truck and headed back to Simeon Village. Dora was very worried about Shanka. She knew that Kokaka still wanted revenge on him and his family, so she drove her truck straight to Shanks's house. When she arrived, she found Edna washing clothes and putting them on the line at the back of the house. "Hello, Edna," said Dora, as she walked up behind the big woman. Edna spun around in surprise. "Oh, hello, Mother Dora. How are you today?" "I'm fine, and how is Gloria doing?" "Oh, she be good, Mother. No more problems at all. It is as if nothing ever happened." Dora smiled at Edna's happiness, then asked, "Where is Shanka?" "Oh, he left early this morning. I don't know where he went. He seemed very upset last night, you know. He wouldn't say what was wrong, but Gloria and I knew that something was bothering him. We know he still feels so bad about the contract with Kokaka, but you know Gloria, she forgave him for that. But it seemed like something is still eating away at that poor man's soul." Dora could sense that something was very wrong here. She had to see Shanka, and talk to him before he made another foolish mistake. "Well, Edna, I must be going, but I want to see Shanka, so tell him to wait for me. I will return this evening at about 6 p.m. to see him." "Yes, Mother, I will tell him as soon as he comes home. Now I must see Gloria for a few minutes, then I must be going." "Yes, Mother. She's inside, just go on in, she will be glad to see her." Dora left Edna to her washing, and went into the house to visit with Gloria for a while.
My fight. In this concrete jungle, I be the black leopard, survival of the fittest despite the cops' effort to eliminate, assassinate, castrate, blackball my black face cause these genes dominate. Face all hate, pain, and disgrace, lies humiliate, yet still I rise. Blow for blow, pound for pound, round for round, you set up blockades, I bust them walls down. Jim Crow living in poverty stricken, get out the ghetto, the cops say hell no. Flood my hood with drugs that manufacture thugs, Crips and Bloods got me keeping a mean mug. Willie Lynch got my peeps on empty. Now I see your brother and wonder will he lynch me? Cain and Abel packs selling crack to blacks, hating facts being stacked in almanacs. Miseducation, all of that. You see evil, you call it black. Setting up walls with that. Flash to bureaucrats. Hell's where I dwell. Don't got me out, demon. I ain't heard no bell. Verse 2. In this concrete jungle, I be the black gorilla. New Jack thriller, ignorance killer, pig blood spiller. What you gonna do now? Fuck the police. Welcome to the luau. Fresh wine flesh at this ghetto banquet. Ham hocks, pork chops, piggies in blankets. Chitlins on the menu, bacon bowl venue. Who will defend you? The struggle continues. Rules and regulation oppress my nation. Ain't no replacing all the shit you've taken. My name, my culture, my God, my folkways, my mores, I'm forever scarred. And I've been barred from humanity, banished to insanity, sacrificed to serve your vanity. The bastardization and criminalization of my black nation demands reparations. While you hating, you white out the White House. We don't make drugs yet you black out the crack house. American gangster, I think you're mistaken. It ain't Ricky Ross, boss, no, it's Ronald Reagan. I fight verse 3. In this concrete jungle, I be the black man. Triple stage darkness in this foreign land. My black sec pistol be patriot missiles. In fact, that's why you hate the blacks. And blackball my black ass to minimum wage. Economic strength means freedom to slaves. Injection of AIDS makes nice tidy graves. A genocide with no waves. Freedom of speech. Speak out. If the truth leaks out, it's almost guaranteed to be beeped out. Still I seek out black history's mysteries, the true revelation of my Hebrew nation. Peace to Aligwa, Agun, and Ashoshi. Please protect me when these liars approach me. Oh, then they reject me because you don't respect me. Why should I love him when he can't protect me? In this maze craze, I seek out better days, which began when Obama ran. Yes, we can, but won't shit change till revolution occur? Cause justice ain't given, only served. My fight.